You were all in Wart Wallow, and you had known that the taxes had gone missing, allegedly from a giant, monstrous dragonfly. You all convened in Peggy's workshop in order to discuss what you're going to do. After some debate, you decided that maybe you would try to find the taxes. And in the middle of the night, Peggy saw that there were strange lights across the massive lake that connected Wart Wallow to the clearing south of it, which is Muckbed Creek, another town but controlled by the Erie. It looked as if the Erie was mobilizing for war against Wart Wallow. Our vagabonds then the next day went north up the river after getting a riverboat with an old muskrat named Old Man Krieg, and who's surely dead. Krieg, who's surely dead at this point. Surely dead at this point. And Old Man Krieg. And they encountered the Dragonfly on the bank in a with bodies all around him. However, when they approached, they saw that the bodies were of these toad mercenaries or thugs of the mayor, and that the Dragonfly was horribly wounded by huge crossbows and harpoons. The party patched up this Dragonfly after stunning it with some spider venom, and found a note on the toads that said, kill the Dragonfly, basically for PR, for good PR, and if you see any outsiders, make sure you take them out too. And he referred to in a letter protecting the gold in his belly. And the Dragonfly, after being patched up, was free of the toxin, but did not attack the party and flew off, allowing them to leave. It seems as if it was just eating a beetle when it was attacked. The party then made their way back to town, and there was intense evacuations happening from some individuals. Some were staying as Marquis 8 soldiers marched into the village, preparing for war. Great barges were being brought out to have a lake battle, and the party then encountered Mayor Boghop, who was very sketchy, and they basically said straight up, you stole the taxes, we know, and through some intimidation and some wheeling and dealing, they convinced him to take them to it, where they knew it was, hidden in the massive statue of Mayor Boghop in the center of town. So he agreed that he would, after some pressuring, that he would get out of town and they would return the taxes and not say a word to anyone. And he would come back, and ideally all things would be the same, should the Marquis 8 hold the clearing. And after leaving that, they found all the taxes and returned to the tax collector, the Cat o' Nine Tails. And so as all the denizens were getting ready to get their possessions, they also said that the cats could take the gold that plated the statue, which was more than made up for the taxes. And so not only did they get their possessions back, they also got their money back. So they did a good deed. And as war brewed, rather than stay, they had one last night eating and drinking before they rented a riverboat from a frog with a banjo. And
he had a banjo?
Did he? Maybe he did.
He does now.
He does now. He's a banjo now.
Oh, you didn't describe it. Assuming he doesn't have one.
Yeah, he has a banjo. You don't know.
Just like Booker has a grappling hook.
Yeah. It's whatever. A banjo, and they
only has a Molotov cocktail.
I have brass knuckles just to put it on the table.
Booker has a gun!
Bang! They took the river north, and through the long journey north, traveling through the buzzing of the giant insects, as you see this large bend, and as you're making your way around the bend, you saw a lantern. It was actually towards in the early morning when the sun wasn't quite up yet. As you turned around the bend, you saw a little lantern light through the wood, and emerging through the forest on the high bank, you saw a familiar face, the great horned owl Jericho, who was stumbling through the wood, and that's where we ended the session. So, you all are on the riverboat, which is piloted by a frog who tells you his name is Benny. And he's a very relaxed frog, but as he turns the corner, you hear huffing and puffing, and you hear the snapping of twigs as you see Jericho erupt from the tree line.
That's right.
And standing with his lantern as he's looking around wildly, And then as you also see the rustling of trees and leaves, and you see shapes through the forest, as you see a number of winged figures flying above him, not too far away. What do you do?
What? My friend, what are you doing all the way up here?
He's far away.
Jericho!
Doing out there?
Is that him? That's the same owl guy, right?
I mean, it looks just like him. I just don't know how to get all the way up here. I mean, we haven't been gone that long. That guy must move quick.
Hey, Benny, can we go over there, please?
Well,
We know him. He's our friend.
Girl, it looks like there's danger up that way, friend.
Well, we gotta get him, and the least we can do is pick him up on the way by. Just pull over real quick. We can't leave him for the birds.
Well,
Literally.
I suppose I gouge you a bit with the prize. That's fine.
What was that?
I gave you a fair prize.
Just out of curiosity's sake, if we'd wanted to say haggle, do you think we could have gotten a lower price?
I don't know what you're talking about. And he pushes the boat forward as you go through the rapids. The roaring river. The roaring river is loud. Jericho is unable to hear you as you make your way around. And as you walk over, you start to see the shapes of eerie warriors. Soldiers, and they don't seem to be the standard run-of-the-mill guardsmen or regimented warriors. These seem like elite hunters. They are all birds of prey. You see one barn owl who looks like very much like a silent death. A scar over his eye. You see...
No!
You know his game.
You see a hawk, a falcon, as they are flying towards him, and you see that his wing is still damaged, Jericho. As he's stumbling forward with the lantern, he's looking around, and he casts his lantern light across all of you, and he sees you, and he says, "No! What are you doing here?"
We can ask you the same thing. Quick, get as close to the shore as you can. We need you to jump in as we go by. Come on.
You will not take me unless you want your doom.
We're gonna save you. Come on.
Get in the boat!
Make a persuasion NPC roll.
While they're doing that, I'm going to take off my scarf and put it around my head like a little bonnet, and then take my bedroll and wrap it around myself.
Okay, you do that.
By means of disguise.
That's gonna be an 11, my friend. Get in the boat.
11. He looks and he says, "But this is my boat for fun!"
Grumbly, grab him.
And he jumps
I'm gonna
and
grab him if I can.
attempt some roguish feats to see how well you do this.
Because we are not docking the boat. We are gonna try to slow down and get close to shore, but we're gonna keep moving.
Holy shit. 10.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no, it is not even close. As he jumps forward and tumbles in, and as he's, keep going, they will be on our tails. You have brought your own doom. And he looks back, and all of the birds now fly out, and you see that there is a total of 6 of them. And they all fan out in a V formation as they are flying towards you. And
what's the boat captain's name?
Benny.
what was that?
Boat captain's Benny. All right, Benny. I'm gonna need you to get this thing kicking in overdrive here. All right, come on.
I don't know what else you want me to do. We're on a boat. Did I just sign? You just pay me to die?
Deep into the rapids, as fast as you can. Let's try to lose them.
Yeah, Benny, don't you have any jets?
Why would I? What's a jet?
Benny and the jets.
starts to twitch.
Why would I have a jet, young lady?
We're going upstream too. There's no way.
Oh, we are? I thought it was like we were going with the rapids.
No, because
we
it
are
goes
bummed.
up to the waterfall.
Jericho, I seem to have made a tactical boo-boo, as they say.
Just get down on the floor, okay?
You get down, we'll kill them all.
Okay. This is
I'm
my
gonna push him down. I'm gonna sit on top of him with my cloak, kind of with my big bedroll pulled around me, and just kind of like huddled up on top of him like a little nest.
You do that, and you feel that his feathers and his clothes are absolutely filthy. They're damp. He's been in the woods wandering around for a long time. And as the birds fan out and they get ready, Benny looks at all of you and says, "Well, I'm going to keep going north. I guess this is the only shot I got. I hope y'all can take care of these birds."
In hindsight, this was a terrible, terrible decision, and I apologize profusely.
What do you do? The birds are descending now as they're getting closer and closer out of the woods now. It seems like they have a very clear shot at you.
Grumly, I don't even have a weapon that I can use here. All I've got is this measly skinkerton dagger.
Do they have, like, ranged weapons?
They do, but you know that birds have to fly, and so they need to perch somewhere too. But you start to see that they are looking around. There are all these large rocks on the bank that they are starting to descend towards. What do you do?
I honestly do not know what to do in this situation.
We gotta get on this boat!
Did they see him get in the boat?
Yes, they burst out of the tree line and they saw.
Benny, how quick do you think you can park this thing?
Oops.
You'll be able to get away if we just make our way with Jericho. They'll go after us and you'll survive.
Is that what you're saying, friend?
I think so. I think that Grumley's right. I think the only way out of this is to get off the boat. I hate to do it.
Let me out! Just get me on this boat right now! I can't do anything here!
Our only hope might be to take cover under the rough canopy. The ranged weaponry might not be good if they're flying over the heavy, dense trees.
Why don't they just come after us?
But it's better to take them on foot than in the air.
We can find a cave or a rock and then we can jump out and kill them all.
I'm with Grumley on this one.
Very violent.
They're foul, eerie soldiers! They deserve death!
Benny, pull the boat over now.
Yeah, you got it. You're paying me, and I guess you're my only shot, so you're double paying me.
And he takes the boat around, and you actually see that there is two massive logs sliding down into the river, propped up, and you feel like you can get some cover. As the boat makes its way beneath it, you hear the loud twang as an arrow flies and hits the trunk, and you see that a falcon is standing on a rock across the river, and has fired an arrow at it.
How big is Jericho compared to Grumley?
Jericho is probably a little bit taller, but a lot thinner.
But he's a bird. Grumley, pick up Jericho. We're gonna make a break for it as soon as we hit shore.
All right. Sorry about this. And I grab him.
Okay. So you pick him up, and you get out of the boat. And Betty's like, well, what do you do? What about me?
Just make it to safety. You should be fine now that we've got Jericho. And we are breakneck speeds running into the forest.
Okay. You do that. And so he says, well, good luck, friends. I'll try to pick you up the river. I hope y'all don't die. And he takes off. And you see Jericho, and now as you grab him, he feels, he looks incredibly, his eyes are sunken in. He looks incredibly weak and haggard, as if he's been running from these birds for a while. As you begin to pick him up, and you all start scampering, running as quickly as you can. You hear the dunk, 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 as arrows fly in and hit the trees. As you all dash through the forest, and you hear the flapping of wings as all six raise up and chase after you. And you're running through the forest. What do you do? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a cave.
Just an idea. I was going to say either a cave or go deeper into the forest, as dangerous as that sounds, so that the brush gets thicker.
Some kind of cover that we can use to like hide and maybe jump out.
Even if it's dangerous to go deeper into the woods where there's more, we want more tree cover or a cave.
Okay.
We're going to look for some sort of cover for safety.
Okay.
Jericho, I know this isn't very dignified, but just hang on.
I'm sorry, friends.
He's under one of my arms.
I have burdened you with even more.
No. We agreed to all this, and we've got good news, but we got to get somewhere
There's
safe.
so many questions.
Come on.
And
I'm sorry because I sat on you. It was totally unnecessary.
I've been taking an arrow to the back.
As you're carrying him, you are running through. You're dodging through, and you're feeling the wet soil. You were in the woods, but this the style of forest that's around you is similar to what you experienced several days prior in your counter outside of Wardwallow. You're a bit far north, but you're not egregiously far north. So you're going through the wet soil. You see that there are a lot of logs, overturned willows draped over, and you actually see up ahead, not more than 500 feet, is a ring of willows. This is very not appropriate. A number of willows with all of the leaves and the canopy hanging down, giving a ton of cover. And you make your way through. There's a huge log that you need to climb over, and you leap over it, and you dive behind it. What are you trying to do?
So we are We're in a grove.
You're basically beneath the dense canopy of a drooping willow tree.
I think I think we're going to try to hide and attempt to ambush these eerie warriors.
Okay.
Proto style against the ring wraiths. We want to kind of get down into a bank next to a tree and just try to like hide. And then the second I feel that they're close, I want to jump out with my halberd and go for it.
Okay. I would say choose one of you to make an attempt roguish feats to see how well you hide.
Hazel.
I was also going to say, can I try to burrow a little bit to like kind of create like a little nook where we could hang down lower?
Yeah, that will affect it. So you see Hazel burrowing and digging out, and make a attempt roguish feats. Let's see how well you're hiding.
Okay, what is that?
I help to dig, but it's not very effective at all.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'll help dig in case we have to give
Roguish
her
is cunning.
Yep.
assistance.
It's Dex.
Is what?
Finesse.
Oh,
Sorry.
finesse.
Finesse.
I'm really
Not
good.
Dex. This is not Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a 9 plus 3 is 12.
12. You dive beneath this little burrowed trench as you all hide and you wait. And you still have to pick one, right, on a success or no?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah, 10 plus, you pick one.
You pick one, so you don't have a clear path of escape. You use up some resources, or you lead evidence.
I mean, the first one makes a lot of sense.
No clear path because I just backed myself into a hole.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have a clear path of escape.
Okay.
And you wait. And you hear the flapping of wings from some. And suddenly you hear this splintering of wood as talons sink into the log above. You're rained down. And it seems as if you feel the presence of one of the eerie assassins over you. As you hear it go, you see that you hear a voice call out, "Check in the willow. They might be there."
Is he is he close enough where I could jump out and halberd him in the face?
He's directly above you, so you could
do it.
I will. The second I feel like he's turned at all, I'm gonna jump out. No, I don't care if he's turned up. I'm gonna just jump out and swing my halberd around, and I would like to use vicious strike on him.
Okay, you do that. How does that work?
And I would like to mark a sharp.
Ooh.
So that. Okay, how does that work? Sorry, weapon attack. They're here somewhere. Are they over there?
You guys had one.
They're here.
No, I gave you guys one.
Then it's maybe over there.
Because
Anyway,
two.
Vicious strike. When you viciously strike an opponent where they are weak, mark an exhaustion and roll with might. On a hit, they suffer serious harm.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark an exhaustion.
Okay.
And I'm just going to cleave as hard as I can and roll 2d6.
Did you pick it up?
4, 5,
Two pieces using two weapons.
6, 7. I got an 8.
Weird.
An 8.
So on an 8, what happens? So they still suffer serious harm, but they get a shot in as well.
Is that 3 harm?
So it's 3 harm to him.
Okay.
Does that mean that he still gets a shot even if that 3 harm were to kill you to kill him because it's simultaneous? Or do you
It's
think
up to him.
Okay.
It's sort of I think
So you see Grumley turn around and just swing his halberd. It cleaves in, blood and feathers spray as you see a falcon head looking at you, eyes wide, shocked at the halberd that's cleaved in his chest.
Oh.
But then and in a swift motion, you feel something slide into you, Grumley, as you take 1 injury and 1 exhaustion.
Oh no.
So what does he look like now? Not Grumley, but the dude.
The dude, as you slide in,
I will use my plate armor to block the exhaustion, and I will take the injury.
it slides in, and it's resisted a little bit by your plate armor, and then you hear eyes roll back, and it falls.
So as soon as Grumley makes this attack, I'm going to jump up out of our foxhole and go for the first eerie soldier that I see with the Skinkerton dagger. Do I see one close by?
Okay.
I'm trying to follow up Brumley's attack.
I'm gonna jump out and follow you.
Okay, you fly around, and as you do that, Booker, Hazel, you leap out. Jericho is staying hiding beneath this log, and you see as a red-tailed hawk flies directly above you. He's flying in. He doesn't seem to quite notice you yet, and he's looking and he sees what's just happening as the falcon is slain. As he looks down at you for a second, what do you do?
So as soon as he sees me, like seeing that he's like distracted, I'm going to use Charm Offensive. When you play upon an enemy's insecurities, concerns, or fears that distract them with words during a fight, I roll with cunning. And I'm going to say, as he's flying over, "Hey, you birds aren't real sharp for being eagle-eyed birds. How'd you miss us down here?" And like try to distract him.
Got him.
Amazing.
That's going to be a 9. I need one more to get a 10.
I think I can help you.
Well, Hazel's with you.
Physically can't.
Hazel's with you.
So, yeah, what is it to assist? Is it exhaustion or...
Exhaustion.
Oh, I'm pretty... I don't know if I can do that right now.
Okay. If you can't, you can't. I can't either. I have 3 exhaustion and 3 decay. So.
I have 3, yeah.
Okay, so it's a 9.
Okay.
Which is on a 7 to 9, you tick them off. They aren't listening to you anymore no matter what you do until the situation drastically changes.
So they aren't sure what to do?
It just says they aren't listening to me no matter what I do. They're ignoring me.
Is that what you intend?
No, my intention was to get a hit and make an opening for myself, but I didn't get that mark.
Okay.
So it just says that they ignore me. It's like
But you fail forward in some way.
my taunts didn't work.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So as that happens, he looks at you and he says, "Krogan!" As he sees the dead falcon fly, and he looks at you and he says, "You'll die, raccoon!" As he flies over you, not more than 5 feet, as he calls, "Come here to me!" As they all fly up, and through that anger, Booker, they all gather around, and their weapons are, as they all fly back, their weapons are drawn. The dead one, however, they're all drawn to you. They now know your location. As you see 5 birds descending upon you, and then suddenly the ground starts to shake. You hear as you hear the absurdly loud buzzing, and suddenly leaves burst through burst all around you. Wood snaps. You see a flash of turquoise, green, orange, pink, as in a massive burst of feathers and blood, the massive dragonfly from the day before swarms in, chomping not 1 but 2 of the birds and completely scattering them. You see one of the hawks and an eagle get completely devoured as it tears it apart with its massive mandibles. And then you see one of the birds try to fly away, and you see a large claw reach up and slash it down. It cuts off one of its wings. It flies down. It smashes against the tree. You hear a loud sickening crack as the dragonfly, and you see it's all patched up with spider silk.
So it's like 100% the same one.
It is the same one with spider silk as it tears it up. As it and you hear the all of the birds scatter, and you look around and you hear as the form disappears, and it gets quieter and gets silent.
Are any of the birds on the ground?
And you look around. That's 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead, 4 dead, and you look around. You don't see any of them, and any enemies alive. And however, you don't hear it. But you flap around, you see a winged figure just appear in the corner of your eye as you see that barn owl with a scarred eye look at you and point before flying away.
Who does he point to?
Just all of you.
Oh, okay. He's just like,
"Come on, get out of here! See what I can!"
And you are in
Steady bird.
the forest.
oh, goodness gracious.
I can't believe it came back and helped us.
Oh, got a dagger in me sword, but me plate armor.
Are you okay,
It didn't
Robbie?
trick, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
To the game master, would you say I just defended someone who could not defend themselves from a dire threat?
Yeah, I would say that.
Oh, I feel very energized for acting as a defendant to you, Mr. Jericho.
Jericho, have they been chasing you since the last time we met?
They picked up my trail 3 days ago. I've been on the run ever since then.
All right, I understand that we're all very tired, but I'm going to need you to do the best you can and get up, and we're going to keep moving at a slower pace, but we can't stay here. I don't think it's safe. I think we need to try to do what Benny said and meet him further up the river, and then he can take us the rest of the way to where we were going.
Where were you going?
I don't remember.
I'll put up the map. We're going to Click Clock Crossing.
That's the one. We're going to Click Clock Crossing.
So we're here.
At least as an intermediary stop, because we're all a little banged up.
So which side of the river are we on right now?
You are on the far side, a little bit north.
East side or west side?
You're on the east side, yeah.
Okay, so we're like over here.
Yeah.
So if we can just stick to the tree line and try to meet Benny farther up the river, he might be able to take us the rest of the way, and we can get you to safety.
Well, this is not your burden. I thank you, but now that they are dispersed, I must continue my quest.
Wait, before you go, I'd love to show you something.
I was going to say, we've got a lot to talk about. Are you sure you can't come along with us and we can walk and talk?
Hey, which way are you
Perhaps
headed?
I will take a ride to Click Clock Crossing, but there I must make my way north.
Glumly, you got to show him.
Well, we're going north as well.
Where are you going?
We're going to Rye Falls. Of course. That's where you said that one of the ruins was.
Yes, I am heading towards Pottsville.
Oh, that's far to the west.
West, yes.
So, would you like to at least accompany us along the way? You can rest up.
Yeah, you don't look so great.
We can pay for a room. You can stay with us. Please stay with us.
Well, I'll at the very least get on your riverboat if your frogman isn't dead.
Well, now that all the birds are dead, you should be just fine.
And we took you with us, so hopefully they didn't go after him.
Well, I thank you, friends. I do not want to burden you. Let's go.
Grumly, you gotta show him.
I'll wait till the boat.
I don't know if we want that boat guy to see what we're doing. I think it's fine.
Oh, before we get on the boat, good point. Thanks for thinking for me. I will go into my pack and I will pull out the huge flaming stag heart medallion. We went to the first ruin. We found this.
You were right. It existed.
And
We found one.
I will unwrap it, still kind of holding it with the wrapped linen, and show him. And thanks for the follow, Dipper Dog.
Follow, Dipper Dog.
Breaker. Appreciate it.
Much appreciated. You pull it out of your pack, and you show him this. His eyes widen. The yellow owl eyes, incredibly large in his head. He says,
You have done it. I told you it was real, that much power. Does anyone know you have this?
Nobody. No, just you.
No,
You're the only
not
one?
a single soul except there's a drunk bird back at the mines in Reconnoiter Ridge, but
I don't think she'd remember anything.
no one will believe her even if she told.
She's definitely a drunk.
That is unbelievable. I knew these existed. To see it up close, to see the power. Do you intend to secure the rest?
We're going to try.
Oh, I think that's our plan.
That's why we're on to Ryback. We're gonna do it.
Well, if you are heading to Rye Falls, I have an old friend there who may be able to help you. She is not trusting, but her name is Sister Beata. Don't you dare mention the sister part in public.
Oh, that all right. That seems pretty important.
Look for black feathers.
Is she a bird?
She's a raven, yes.
Lovely.
But like a good bird, not like one of those mean birds that I just killed one of them.
You can trust me. I wish she did. I had wished she did my entire career. She has no allegiance towards the Eyrie.
So if we just ask around for Beata, we should be all right.
Do not
Just a Beata.
ask around.
Oh, don't. Oh, okay.
We
Oh,
should
boy.
just look for a raven in Rye Falls. Is
Look,
that what you're saying?
look for a raven. She is usually at the Cotton Top Inn.
Okay.
That's where she meets with commoners.
So she does good for the community, it sounds like.
Good community depends on your definition.
All right, well, so she knows the location of the next ruin.
Is she not royal or something? What do you mean, commoners?
I cannot speak anymore. It's not my place to tell you.
Oh.
You shall hopefully meet her, and hopefully you will be able to convince her to help you find what you seek.
Can we say that we know you?
Mention my name, yes, but do not mention what's become of me. If she thinks that I am no longer in my position, my name may not hold as much weight.
She don't sound like a very good friend then.
She has her own goals, as do you. As do I, but we must go.
So, like, as we get to the river, I just
Yeah.
want to see if we see any, like, trace of Benny's boat.
You look around, you make your way through the wood, and you walk along the riverbank. No sign of the owl or the birds that had chased you. But as you continue, you hear anything before you hear something before you see something. As you hear the low twangs of a banjo sailing on the wind, as you eventually make your way over a wet rock, and you see down along the shore in a patch of lily pads, you see Benny in the bed of his boat, his hat tilted forward, just plucking on his banjo, sitting around, and his boat's tied up to a log.
Oh, my acorns, you survived! You did it!
Well, dang it, I was about to leave in about 20 minutes. I guess now I'm duty bound to give you the rest of your journey.
I appreciate that you're honouring our deal because we did pay you quite a bit of coin. So if you could safely take us to Click-Clock Crossing, it would be greatly appreciated.
And there shouldn't be any more trouble now, hopefully. We took care of that. Or at least, somebody did. Woof!
Mostly me. I got one. You can see
You're
the
all
blood.
covered in blood, friends.
I think it was mostly you.
No, we won't get any on you or your boat. We just need to get to
For
Click-Clock
everybody
Crossing.
in the boat, it was mostly me. And then we had help. Most of the help was from a friend. That's not here currently, or presently, or right now.
Well, y'all strange, but you paid me some good coin. Thank you, friend. I've been. Now, I hope y'all ain't intending on staying long when you make your way off. Staying long in Click-Clock Crossing, I did someone a bad turn there, and they don't take kindly to me.
Well, that's not our problem now, is it?
And if you're looking for a ride to Rye Falls, if your ferryman gets caught up by the law enforcement...
That is also not our problem, friend.
Well, will you take us the whole way there?
Just get us to Click-Clock and we're done.
I can take you all the way to Rye
No,
friend.
if he's going to take us all the way there, we should use the services. We already paid him.
Well,
true.
if it's included in the fee, then fine. But I'm also not getting roped up in his legal problems.
No, I just mean we could just go through quickly so he doesn't get roped up. And the second you get roped up, that's between you and the Marquis.
While we're taking this time to journey, I was hoping we could maybe resupply when we got to Click-Clock.
Can you park for like an hour and just lay low, maybe on the edge of the crossing?
Is there any kind of shop or general goods store? I just need to stop in for a second. I've got coin to spend, and I need to spend it.
Well, how are you planning to get through Click-Clock Crossing anyway?
Well, as long as I don't show my face walking around town, the folk that run the Betterborough Bank ain't gonna catch a sight of me, is all I'm saying.
Damn it! Is there any place in Rye Falls that we can resupply?
Every clearing has places you can resupply, friend. You
It's
got enough
risky.
to make the whole way?
It's risky to try to make it all the way. I don't think I can make it.
Does the river go through the town or just...
It goes through the town.
Let me cut over to the map.
I believe it goes through the town.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the town is on one side. It's on the western side.
Right.
If we stop it all, we risk losing our ride. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what if he drops us off like kind of southern bits in the town, and then he just keeps on slow traveling, and we do our shopping real quick, like, and then get him on the northern side?
It will literally take me a flash of an eye. I need not even 5 minutes. But in that 5 minutes, we lose our ride. I don't want to hear any griping from anybody.
All right. Well,
What's that face for?
I don't want to hear any griping.
Do I gripe?
Occasionally.
I never gripe.
You usually gripe when we're out of food.
what's
I'm
griping?
pretty hungry.
What's griping?
What do you
Complaining.
consider the difference? So
Griping sounds like this. Booker, why didn't you do this? Booker, why did you lose our ride? Booker, why did you steal that thing? Booker, why did you do this? That's what griping sounds like.
So griping, the definition of griping is very reasonable questions that one might ask you.
That sounds right to me.
Don't get caught.
Well, I hope they don't find me.
And you make your way and you complete the journey. Oh, go ahead.
Well, so and just Jericho would want to get off here,
Yes.
right? Because he's
I
trying to
do
go.
need to get off.
So we're going. We're gonna say like, hey, we're like parking right.
I did forget about that. Jericho, we're not going to keep you hostage on this boat.
No, I have my own journey.
Have you had any luck trying to track down your daughter?
I have not, but my heart tells me that good fortunes have come. You have found one of the artifacts in the ruins. Surely I will find the clue to my daughter. I think that she may be held by agents in Pottsfield. But I will see.
I wish we could help you.
Agents in Pottsfield? What do you mean by agents?
They have their birds everywhere. Birds live in every clearing. Agents of the Eerie live amongst them.
This is pretty severe.
And you sure you don't need our help?
I do not. It would be selfish of me to ask such a thing, and I know that this is something I must do.
Well, for what it's worth, there's a good chance we're going to be passing through Pottsfield. If you wait for us, we might be able to reconnect and help you out.
Well,
We're only on this quest because of you in the first place.
That's true.
And we've got to go down that way anyway to get to the ruin in Drakesmith.
And if
So
that
we can-
sounds like guilt, it's because it is. So now I'm trying to guilt you into letting us help you again.
a tremendous amount of guilt already weighs on.
Okay, well, see, that's what griping sounds like. You blaming Booker for nothing. I'm trying to tell you that we're willing to help you, and we're not going to take no for an answer, provided it doesn't kill us.
It's not going to kill us. We're going to let you off at the clock crossing and you go find your daughter. We're going to keep going. We're going to find the thing in the ruin. If we happen to connect at Pottsfield,
Well,
then we'll see you then.
I will see you there if I'm alive and still there, and you are alive and still there. But it is my burden.
You complete the journey. You arrive at Click Clock Crossing. You arrive to a beautiful wooded clearing. Towns that are predominantly rabbits. Many burrows built in to wooded hills all around, and you see that there is many large oak trees. As you see that there are dozens and dozens of shops and merchants, more per capita than you've seen in any other clearing. As you see a large number of a variety of other woodland creatures, all interspersed within. But you also see, as you make your way up the river, and you all stop at the very, very, very outskirts of this town, towards the center, a large wooden structure that seems to be built out of a huge tree that seems to spiral upwards. As you see a large, extravagant house built on top of this oak tree. And you are able to make dock there. And Benny says, "Y'all got an hour. I'm already getting nervous."
Well,
We will
you
be-
just keep on go and slow down the river and wait for us at the edge of town, and they won't be looking for you.
Well, I'm saying it'll be mighty faster for us to take the river north rather than y'all walking through the town.
Don't move.
Yeah, but
Stay out of sight. We will be right back.
But there's so many shops here.
We'll take an hour. That's all we need to
We
resupply.
don't even need that much time. No wandering.
We're just going to resupply.
Why is everybody popping them off?
Because I hear griping coming.
And I hear, buy your pies. It shouldn't take too long. We're going to go to the general store, and that's where I'm going.
And that's all we need
You
to
go
do.
to the pie shop because there are rabbits here, and I'm guessing you want to buy some pies.
I can
And
smell them already.
Booker, you go wherever you want to go.
General store. We're going to the general
The
store.
general
We need
store?
supplies.
All right. Well, we're going to split up. Booker and I go to the general store. Hazel's going to buy some pies. We're going to meet you at the north side of the clearing. All right.
You're not going to meet me right here, friend. Or you meet me on the north side of the clearing.
I think you should get through the clearing as.
It's going to take a lot longer than an hour for you to do shopping and make it all the way north.
That's why we're coming right back here.
This is a big town, friend.
That's what we're doing.
If something happens and somebody's poking at you, just go. Just go and then meet us on the edge of town. It'll take a little longer, but you'll
Well,
be safe.
I hope so. Some of these folk don't take kindly to debtors, I will tell you that.
That's plan B.
Oh.
Plan A is to meet right back here. But if you are at risk of getting captured, you move on, and we'll find you.
Okay, I will do, friend.
All right.
You all make your way out.
All right.
As you get in, you hear a faint buzzing. As you're making your way through, you see bees flying through the air as they all buzz around, almost like humming in this beautiful little song. As you see rows and rows and rows of large hives, as beekeepers. Many beekeepers, and you see them pulling out giant trays of a honeycomb as carts are being wheeled around with covered in baked goods, many farms and crops and the like. You are able to make your way through this town, and you are able to resupply whatever you would like, whatever kind of pie. You know that the specialty here is the use of honey. There is a tremendous amount of honey here in Click Clock Crossing, and it's a heavy ingredient in just about everything that they serve here. A variety of honey pastries, honey-based pies. You know that they have some fruits that are shipped in from Nookington, but obviously the classic apples, cherries, pears, and peaches are usually those are the four varieties that they have, from Nookington's, or Nookington orchards, and they're showing that off a variety of bunnies. You see off towards the center of town a large structure that's almost built into one side of the hill, and you see a large sign far down that says the Better Borough Bank. As you see a number of you're starting to now see the Marquis 8 soldiers have a pretty heavy presence here. The heaviest presence that you've seen in any clearing so far. It seems as if the closer that you get to New Felicia, that the heavier the presence of the Marquis 8 are. But there's also, they're not just cats. A lot of them are rabbits that have seemingly joined the ranks. You see a number of recruitment tents and a number of field hospitals. As it seems as if the presence here is pretty intense. You see a number of workshops, but it seems as if the center of this town seems to be commerce, and you see a great number of grist mills built all alongside the river, grinding the various grains into the bread for the dough. So you can resupply however you would like.
I'm basically going to I have 4 coins in my bag.
Yeah.
For 4 decay, I'm going to spend 3 of them to remove all 3 of my decay.
Okay, you do
Basically
that.
trade them out. So I have 1 gold coin left to spend.
You do that.
I have used my last 2 coins to resupply, so I have full decay.
Okay.
I want to go to the bake shop.
Okay. You do that. You go to a bake shop, and you see there's a variety of them, and you're not quite sure which one to go to. There seems to be a variety of smells, and this one smells pretty good. This one smells pretty good, and you hear You smell one that just smells deliciously. There's a great nuttiness to them. A lot more than a lot of these other bake shops have. Something that speaks to your chipmunk, your chipmunk sensibilities. And you see a sign that's hanging on the door, and the symbol on it, etched onto it, is a large pie, but with a big acorn stuck in. And it says Nabs, N-A-B''S. And you make your way in, and you see that it's chock full of rabbits, a few cats. You see an otter. You see a fox, a mouse. You see a variety of people as they're all trying to get their orders. As behind the counter, you see a squirrel with a great big bushy tail. As now hold on. It seems to be a male squirrel. As a bit older, but he's like, okay, it's all coming. You see there's a variety of pies. Obviously, a very heavy use of honey, but you see that there are pecan pies. There's a variety of nut-based pies as well, and other pastries.
Sir.
No, okay, here you go. Very nice. Oh, hello there, young lady.
Hi.
Mr. Squirrel.
I'd like to try that pie.
We don't do free samples here.
Oh, but you see, I have the most horrible allergies, and if it's got the wrong kind of honey or the wrong kind of nut, it could be a terrible thing. And I just really, even just a nibble would
Just a
help me
nibble.
make my decision.
Well, NAM usually doesn't get free samples because the nuts are very good.
I believe that. They smell just wonderful, but wouldn't it be awful if I bought a pie, a beautiful pie, and it made me just sick as a dog, and I'd have to say, Naps Pies, why did you do this?
Trick an NPC roll, please.
Okay.
Book his ears are better because that sounds like griping.
Why you got a gripe?
9 for 9.
Oh.
So 7 to 9.
So, and none of us are there to help.
They stumble and you gain a critical opportunity.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "Well, lady, I met many chipmunks in my day, and I think that I can tell when you're lying. Your cheeks puff up real big, and your cheeks are very puffy right now. So you can either buy a pie or move along. Hold on, I have to help a customer." And he turns away, and you see that a lot of the customers are kind of following him, and no one is looking. No one is looking towards one corner of the shop as you see a variety of nut and fruit-based
Fail
pies.
forward, my friends.
I am going to. Is there like a glass partition, or is it just like pot? Like,
There is a glass partition, but there's a number of trays on these like large wooden like cabinet type things where there are a few pies on out.
all right. So while his back is turned and most people cannot see me, I am going to take as many pies as I can.
Okay, let's see how you do with the temper roguish feats.
All right. Let's see how I do.
Holy shit.
That's not good.
Oh no!
That ain't good at all. Oy, 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 oy,
You rolled a
oy.
3
With
plus
a
3.
Yeah, it's a 6. Oh no!
Wait, hold on. Do we have any twists?
Yeah.
So it counts as a +1 though,
Yes.
right? Is
Yes.
that enough?
That
Yeah,
would be
that's
a
a
7.
Success.
Use it.
Let's fucking use it.
Yeah.
All
I think
right.
you have 2. Right?
So you pick 2.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah. So
Holy
if,
shit.
for any of our new followers, anybody who just jumped in to watch tonight, if you don't know what Twist of Fate is, you can use !TOF, just like Abby just did, because she's got the fastest fingers in the West.
Really.
Basically, the
And the
idea
East.
is, as you guys give us bits, which we love, we really appreciate it, when we get an cumulative total of 500 bits, we get to add 1 Twist of Fate, which usually gives us a reroll of a D20 when we're playing D&D. But in Root, it gives us a free help action, essentially adding +1 to any of our rules rolls, which will turn a failure into a success more often than not.
Which is amazing in this scenario because none of us are with her to help her.
So generally...
So this was the only way that she could have added one to her roll.
So generally, as a powered by the... While Mike is grabbing some coffee, as a powered... No, take your time. As a powered by the apocalypse mechanism in this game, a player can help another player out and add one to their roll by taking one exhaustion, correct?
Right.
But because, like Rich was saying, none of us there, we can't do the assist. So the twist of fate saves the day.
Yeah. And so with my just barely pass, I'm going to say that I do not have a clear path of escape, and I leave evidence of my roguery behind.
Oh, we're going to end up in Marquis 8 jail over a damn pie.
Lots of pies, actually.
Right.
You, his turn, you manage to swipe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pies.
Holy
however, you go to
I love pie.
and there's a special pie compartment in your sack for this point, and for this thing. You are
It's called
very...
my belly.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And however, you go for a 7th pie. Lucky number 7. This isn't very lucky for you.
I know.
You go for a beautiful peach and honey pie with peaches imported from Nookington. And as you go through, you go to pick it up, and the tin was actually a little bit weak, and it just breaks in half and spills and crumbles all around you. And you look around, and you turn to leave, and there's actually a huge crowd trying to push their way in. And as you're trying to make your way through with all of the pies in your pack, you hear a voice call out, now what happened to all those pies?
Can he see me?
You're kind of in the crowd, but he can definitely see you.
Oh shit! I'm gonna take some of the pie that's spilled over and just like fling it at the person next to me, and like just like food fight it all over the crowd.
Okay, for what purpose?
That jerk dropped his pie on me and it was awful. And then I'm gonna puff my cheeks out, and I think there was nuts in it. It was terrible.
This has gone from bad to worse.
He looks at you like, what? Make a trick and NPC. Make a trick and NPC roll, please.
Here we go.
6, a 2, and an 8. I have no cunning. It's an 8. Oh, that works.
That's good though. It passes.
So
Leave the cunning to good friend
They
Boghop.
take the on a hit. They take the bait and do what you want.
Oh.
on a 7 to 9,
They can
I
instead
choose
choose to do one of these. The NPC can either hesitate, stumble, or overreact, or they can take the bait.
Overreact.
one. Overreact, please.
No, I think. Do you choose for them, or does Mike choose?
Oh,
I
they
think
can
they
choose
can.
one. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have chosen that last time.
Oh, yeah, that was my fault as well.
We're learning.
You say that, and he looks at you, and he says, who, come here, no, who you stealing my pies? You see, he turns, and he looks, and you see that there is a rabbit, probably not much older than you. Now he's covered in peach pie, and he looks at you like, I've never seen you before in my life! And then you see old Nab leap over the counter. And he's like, come here! He has like this hickory cane as he's going to like, Nab, give me back my pie! Give me my pie! And there's an opportunity, there's a little passing in the crowd where there's an opportunity for you to slip out.
I'm gonna take a swipe of the peach, lick it, and run out the door.
You do that. It is delicious as you shamble out make your way out through the streets. As you look over and you see that directly in front of you is that huge spiral oaken structure ahead, and you turn and you make your way down towards the river. And there's actually a shocking number of frogs around here. You get the sense that being so close to Wartwall, right on the river, that there's a pretty decent frog population, at least in the southern end of the clearing. And you eventually all arrive back at Benny's riverboat as you all board, unless you want to do anything else in the town.
Whoo! I say as I step onto the boat. Now that's what I'm talking about. A shopping trip with absolutely zero incident. I lay down in the back of the boat and I put my hands behind my head and I kick my feet up on the edge of the boat.
Does that count as stealing something, by the way? for my kleptomaniac check.
Benny, my friend, let's kick off.
Well, the debt collectors didn't come yet. Benny Frankels is free another day.
Penny Franco. This is the host.
Oh, this is the host of White Frenzy.
Thank you
Much
so much for the host.
Thank
you.
Welcome.
And you push off after Jericho is left, and you make your way through.
Dipper doesn't know me very well.
Dimmer says, LOL, Andy is very easygoing.
That is the
Just wait, my friend, just wait.
That is the most antithetical thing I've ever heard in my entire life. As you make your way through, and you see that they're as you make your way through, the trees here are very dense, and it seems as if there's a bit of the leaves here are a variety of colors, not just green, but shades of browns and yellows and oranges, interspersed through with the green of the trees. As you make your way through, there's actually a large number of bird housing as well, a lot more densely populated than the other clearings. Pardon me, that you've been to. And as you make your way up, you see a variety of strange-looking, colorful. Are they songbirds? It's kind of hard to tell. You see one that's very large and green, flying around in a hollow that a house that almost looks like a cuckoo clock. Thank you, Feather Fall.
Welcome.
You see what seems to be flying above, heading in the direction towards the center of town. A red female bird that seems to be pretty angry about something. As she flies overhead, as you continue to make your way through the town, it takes you the rest of the day to make, or not the rest of the day, but a good number of hours to make your way through the rest of this town, and then leave the clearing, heading north. And I'll say, because you paid him a bunch of coin, and you already gave a lot of exhaustion to make this trail, that counts for this whole passage.
Oh, beautiful.
So the encounter that you had for this was Jericho, and so you make your way down the river, and you know that the distance between Click Clock Crossing and Rye Falls is not nearly as much. It's not as far of a journey. You are camping out occasionally on the side of the river when you need to, but you eventually...
Is this days, though?
It's a number of days. Okay. The woodland is very large.
Okay.
Time is kind of wibbly-wobbly.
So would you say time has passed?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so we lose some exhaustion then, right?
So, right, we would, each day we lose an exhaustion, and I would, because I'm an arbiter, I have the feature where I would
take
lose.
two exhaustion? Is that reasonable? 2 nights?
I think 2 nights for this whole journey.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll say we'll take 2.
Because I was at 3 exhaustion.
You know what? I think because you're traveling... Oh, I think you work some mischief.
Welcome.
Why don't we say, if it's a night... Let's say when you arrive at Rye Falls on a boat, you're taking it easy, everyone can kind of remove their exhaustion trap.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's do that.
If Booger had gotten stabbed, he'd be carrying his ass.
As Benny, he's occasionally just singing a tune.
So we're in Rye Falls?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet.
You're making your way.
Our people there.
You're making your way up the river, and the air gets a little bit brisker as you feel the river. It's not quite as rough, but the mist is it's a lot. The air is mistier as it coats your fur, patches of your exposed skin. It's almost pleasant as you are making your way through the river. You see a large barge heading down in your direction. And you see a barge, and it's just absolutely stacked with huge logs. As a barge makes its way down. And you see that standing atop is 2 individuals. There is a fox and a beaver. And they give you a wave, and you see that on the barge is a sign that says the Ripsaw Logging Company. And you see them making their way down. You had seen a number of workshops.
Ripsaw Logging Company?
Ripsaw Logging Company. You see a number of these. as they make their way down. You saw some, you didn't spend a whole lot of time in Click-Clock Crossing, but as you think about it, you remember that there was actually, not only was there a great deal of commerce there was a great deal of trading and shipping and freight. Basically, there's going to be a big freight industry there as well, as logs, you remember seeing logs getting unloaded and being brought up to New Felicia and being sent out all around for the supply chain of the Marquise. Play rude.
And board game.
The
by
board
Leader
game.
Games.
Play
That's
the board
wonderful.
game.
It's right
Anyway,
there.
as the shipping wood, is a large part of what the Marquise does. And you continue to make your way north. And as you arrive, head north and north, it gets a little bit more colder and colder, but it feels not unpleasant. And then towards you had camped, and it's probably late morning, and then you listen, and you hear the faint, distant roaring of a waterfall. As you turn around the bend, and you see ahead of you the great Ice Howl Mountains rising up above you, capped with beautiful ice peaks, forested in a number of areas, dark and light gray stone, beautiful and majestic, almost shrouded in clouds. As you turn ahead of you, you see the great beginning of Old Tom's River, the Rye Falls, one after the other, almost making an entire sheet across part of this mountain range as it roars down into this massive mouth of the river, where it seems like the beginning of Old Tom's River through the Dimwood begins. And you see, as it stretches out, a sprawling town. You see the heavy pine trees, the oak trees of Click-Clock Crossing now behind you. The large pine trees, it's a very alpine feel. And you see structures all built around, made of wood, stone. And as you look around, you see that there are whole swaths of hills that are totally barren, save for stumps. As you see large wooden workshops and a number of workers. You see a fox and a cat with holding a large saw, making their way to a work site. It almost kind of has a similar vibe to Reconnoiter Ridge, but instead of miners, there are loggers. As this seems to very much be a logging town. As you make your way, you also see that there are a number of small farms, tall stalks of rye. Blow in the wind, and you see off to the side as you make your way through the river a number of distilleries and breweries. As you actually see a barge sail past, just absolutely filled with barrels of rye, bourbon, and a variety of beers.
I'm gonna jump up, almost like rocking the boat a little bit, and like leaning on the side and being like, "Great acorns above! I've never been this far north before. This is amazing! Oh, I can't believe I'm finally seeing this. Look at that over there, and look at the city, and look at those."
You're gonna flip the boat.
Oh, sorry. I'm excited to get to I gotta try the world famous rye and all of the great drinks they have here.
Well, let's remember the task at hand. We got to find Sister Beata.
Who's that?
Nobody, my friend. Nobody. Nobody.
Sounds like a wet blanket.
It's my friend sneezed here. He's coughing up some phlegm in the back.
My sister. My sister happens to live here. I'm from New Felicia, so my sister's not far. She's just clearing over.
If you say the word one more time, I'm going to slap you upside the head.
Probably I didn't know you had a sister.
I certainly do, of course. I've told you all about her, haven't I, Hazel?
Oh, I'm just so forgetful.
I think it would benefit all of us to stop saying the word.
What sister?
Hazel!
I think that's the word he
Well,
means.
I have a sister. Don't you have any siblings? I've got brothers too.
Benny, how far till we reach shore?
We're almost down to the dock. Down, and friend, you're the real clear here. See, this is way better. Way better than anything that Click-Clock Crossing can offer.
I had a feeling.
Ain't no tax collectors up this far north.
Well, that's fantastic.
Just simple folk
Sounds nice.
doing simple things, making an honest
maybe not so honest living, and enjoying a good drink along the way.
These sound like my people.
I don't know. It's a little depressing with the woods gone.
Well, sacrifices. A small price to pay and whatnot.
Plenty of woods, and you need timber for
It's just
progress.
quite unsightly to have like a big bald spot in the middle of the forest.
Well, every clearing's kind of like a bald spot in the middle of the forest. That's just how clearings are.
So, like, you clear it and then you fill it up with people, and then instead of, like, tree hair, you have people hair. You know?
There's plenty of people. You look at all the people around, and I gesture. Are there lots of people around?
You look around, and there's a wide variety of people. And even though it has a similar vibe to Reconnecting Ridge, it definitely seems more built up. There are some residential districts, some nice little wooden neighborhoods with creeks running through. Some you can see that buildings are kind of running up the hills going into the mountains, nestled in. It seems to be a fox-dominated clearing, as it's predominantly foxes, but once again, like throughout the whole Dimwood, a wide variety of forest creatures. But there are a good number of people, but on the other side, and as you make your way, you pass very close to a logging operation. As you hear the loud zzz, you hear like zzz, as you look ahead, and you see that there are a number of cats and foxes holding on to this large metal contraption with a massive buzzing saw going incredibly fast as they just tear through a tree, and it slams down. You see a beaver foreman kind of directing things as you see that there's a good number of machinery, and then you see that there's actually a large metal crane with gears exposed, all turning around, that leans down, picks it up, and then places it on a barge as it gets ferried over.
What time is it?
It's probably about mid-afternoon.
Okay, so it's later in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't know about all of you, the rest of us, but I could use a hot meal, a good drink, and maybe a good old sleep in an inn. We've been camping out for several nights, and I just want to relax.
Well, we got to go to the inn anyway to look for, people in general. Thank you so much for the passage, and be safe.
As he docks, he looks, he's like, well, thank you, old friends. I was being honest. I was heading here anyway, trying to get a job playing piano. But I appreciate the extra coin for my trouble.
You could play the piano.
Oh, that's my actual specialty.
But you're so good at the banjo.
I used to see him play the piano.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to try to get a job and leave my boat here. Maybe I'll find my way south again, but if I can get free drink at the Belch and Barrel, ain't no better life than that, friends.
Well, regardless, we appreciate the help, even if it came at a price. And remember, watch out for the tax collectors. They separate people from their money even better than I do.
Man, that is very true. If you see any greedy-looking rabbits coming up this way, you turn the other direction, friend. Believe me.
Duly noted. Thank you.
And he hitches up, and you all make your way into Rye Falls. The constant din of the roaring falls is just the state of this town. As you see just the various the sheets and sheets of water pouring down, and the mist that coats the entire town. It almost, as the light refracts in it in the noontime sun, there's almost this beautiful shimmer across the whole town as it's bathed in the mist. And what do you do?
I would keep an eye out for the Cotton Top Inn.
Yeah, that's exactly basically right. I'm heading for an inn.
Right. Okay. So I would keep an eye out. We would walk through the town. We would look around. I want to look for the Cotton Top Inn so that we can get a room. And then I would keep an eye out for Sister Beata.
Booker doesn't exactly remember the name of the inn. He's looking for a nice one.
Okay. Sounds good.
If there is more than one.
Yeah.
Well, we know there's two.
Yeah, there's at least two.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for a nice one. The nicest one.
You look around and you see that once again there's the heavy Marquisate presence. It seems as if that there's a ton of workshops all throughout a ton of lumber mills built out and a good number of workshops, and each of them is heavily guarded by Marquisate soldiers, both of foxes and of cats and a variety of other creatures. And as you make your way through one town square, you see a large bulletin board, and you see plastered up in the very center, huge sheet of paper, heavy black ink from the press, and it says, Erie takes Wartwalla.
Oh shit!
And you see a sketch.
Fuck!
So this guy can like fuck off,
So he can fuck off.
and then I'll.
Can you duplicate it?
I think I can duplicate it. Hold on. So,
We'll see how can you do it. Can you copy it?
so
You should be able to,
copy,
yeah.
Duplicate, and then let's move this guy up. Look at that!
Bam.
Boom.
Oh
Man.
no!
The bird presence is growing.
The Erie has struck a devastating blow.
And you see that
It's pretty close. 5 versus 6 clearings now instead of.
I like the strategicness of this clearing.
Yeah.
That is a key clearing in
is
this war.
It's such a central clearing.
What's the green meeple?
That is my friend. My friend. What are we calling it? This camp, the denizens?
No.
It's the Woodland Alliance. Bum bum bum.
I've heard whispers that there's some kind of rebellion going on down south.
Now, not too loud. I almost lost my accent there for a second, Grumley. I'm listening too close to you.
All right.
The point is, we can't talk too loudly about them, including certain words we mention. The Woodland Alliance is one of those things that we shouldn't talk too loudly about.
Oh, they're just radicals. That's all they are. They're trying to overthrow the Marquis and the Erie at once. They're trying to take over the whole Dimwood.
Radicals? You
It's
call
ridiculous.
them radicals, my friend? No,
Dad.
no, it's power of the people.
They just want to be martyrs. Is all they want to do.
What? No, it's the power of a unification. It's the power of the people rising up together. Oh, it's a fantastic thing.
Well, we'll see about that. I
I
don't.
didn't realise you were such a political figure.
What? No, I'm not. I'm just here for the ride.
Well,
Please.
you got
Are you
awfully
kidding me?
animated just now.
Well, I mean, it's passion. I mean, think about it. Think about how do you feel when you see a freshly baked pie?
I feel pretty good inside.
Right. It's the same feeling that these people get when they rally together and they beat the oppressors.
Well,
But I haven't seen you beat anybody.
Well, I'm not a fighter.
Oh.
I'm only in it for the money.
he's a con man. Look at his bag of stuff.
Con man is a little harsh. I don't like that.
That's not
I'm out to
nice.
make a living for myself and just live an easy life. If you know what I'm saying. Working on Easy Street.
You know, sometimes I think about marketing and just, generally selling your wares. And I feel like for you, you're a businessman. And your business is teaching people valuable lessons that they won't make a mistake twice.
That is an absolutely fantastic way to put it. I appreciate that, Hazel. You're very kind.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but anyway, let's look for the inn.
So you make your way. You make your way through, and let me pull up my notes here. Apologies.
We're staying somewhere nice, by the way. We're not just picking any random ramshackle inn.
Why, are you paying for it?
I'll pay for myself. I never said I'd pay for you.
So
Well, then I guess you're staying in a nice inn.
Thank you very much.
you make your way through, and you see as you're turning, Grumley's in the lead, trying to find a spot, and then eventually you get to an area that is partially residential, but a lot of mercantile, an artisan area of a lot of individuals, a lot of woodworkers, of course, in this area, and other crafters. But you see a very quaint, but quite nice. 3-story inn with very nice shutters and a sign that has a waterfall logo, but on the top, the mist kind of makes like a puffy cotton-like look, and it says the Cotton Top Inn, and you are standing outside. What do you do?
On a scale of however many inns are there in the town that we've passed, where does this one seem to rank in terms
You haven't passed many inns. You get the sense that it's a bit more spread out because of the nature of this town. But you've seen like a pretty ramshackle inns that are people maybe up for traveling to work, logging at least for a few months or a few weeks, and they look pretty ratty.
So this is nicer than that.
Yeah, you saw this place. It looked really scuzzy called the Beaver Creek Inn, and
My man Dobro.
the Beaver Creek Inn. But this looks pretty nice. So this looks nicer than the others that you've seen. You get the sense that as you see that going up in the hills towards the falls is probably primo real estate, and there'll probably be a lot nicer hotels up there.
Wait, we're stopping here? What about up there? Look at those beautiful houses.
Remember what we're here for.
What do you mean what we're here for? We're here to relax and have a nice glass of rye.
Well, the whole point is to find that ruin that we're going to explore. Sister Beata, let's not forget.
Maybe we can take a day trip up there tomorrow.
But we're not going to stay there. We got to preserve our funds. And we got to... Don't blow all your money, is all I'm saying. Be responsible.
You worry about your own money, friend. I've got my own money and under my own control, all right?
All right,
I'd be willing to back venture to go up there if you were feeling particularly crafty.
I'll see what we can do. I sling my sack over my shoulder and I make my way into the inn ahead of him. I'm disgruntled.
You make your way into the inn, and you see an actually very pretty looking central room that has a high ceiling and actually goes up all 3 stories with a small little balcony on the interior that goes off down hallways into the other rooms. It's made out of this very beautiful, dark, polished wood, it seems. You see that there's a number of trophies on the wall, large fish, some preserved insects that have been hunted, and a variety of other things. And you see that there is a very quaint bar to the back with a roaring fire, the stone fireplace with a large stone chimney, almost masterful stonework rising up the entire length of the building. And you see a number of patrons sitting down in these comfortable chairs. There's a number of people, there's 1 or 2 people at the bar, a couple people enjoying a meal, and you see that there is a middle-aged woman, and she seems to be a shrew, as she has a long pointed nose with some small whiskers at the end, little ears, definitely shorter than all of you, as she's bustling around in a gray dress. And she turns and says, Oh, new customers!
Hi, hello.
Come in, ma'am.
The name's Booker. We're looking for a room for 4. What are you charging?
All 4 of you are going to stay in 1 room?
Yeah, well, it depends on your prices, but that's what we're looking for.
1 room, please.
Well, here's the price. And it will be, for 1 room, it'll be for 1 room, it'll be 1 coin. 1 decay.
1 decay.
I suppose that's amenable. There's no way you're accepting any kind of work instead of gold, are you?
What kind of work are you looking to do?
Well, I mean, we just do what we can, but I see this is a very industrious town, and it looks like some of the other inns might be accepting work and trade for board and food.
That's true.
I didn't know if maybe this was one of those establishments
It
or...
was very, very handy.
Nonsense. I couldn't take your work. You look like weary travellers who come to the Cottontail Inn to rest and relax.
Well,
You don't need to work.
That does sound nice. Can we spare the can we spare the funds, everyone?
it's just that they say if you're doing what you love, you never work a day in your life. And Booker loves to mop floors. It's true.
I'm gonna stop you
And
right
I'm
there,
a pretty
Hazel.
good cook.
If you're willing to take 1 coin, we will gather our funds together and we'll get back to you in 1 minute.
Okay,
Can we
just
do
let
that?
me know. You make yourselves comfortable, okay?
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We all have money, right?
I have my decay track, yes.
Well, all right, and I take out a coin.
Yeah,
And I say,
it's a number of coins, but it's just worth.
well, I
one
take
decay.
out
Yeah,
one
yeah,
coin,
Okay.
and I say, all right, well, there's just only one way to decide who's going to pay out of the 3 of us. I'm gonna flip a coin. Heads, it's gonna be you. Tails, it's gonna be you. Deal? Done.
No.
I flip a coin.
Flip a
I'm
coin.
gonna snatch the coin out of there. Can I
Do you have a
that?
D2?
Yeah.
No, but we have coins.
Oh yeah.
We have literal coins.
Yeah, flip
that
the coin.
flip much better than.
I have a coin.
I prefer to use these beautiful metal coins
By Norse Foundry.
By Norse Foundry.
Wait, which one's which?
Oh, bad luck for Hazel. That's a tails. And I put the coin back in my pouch.
It's just a shame. I don't have any. I've got a lot of pie. I spent all my money on those pies.
I'm going to try to figure her out.
Okay, make a figure her out. Figure that someone out.
Oh, jeez.
Can I roll against him for trying to trick an NPC? Oh, no, wait, it's not.
Oh, and I get to roll with charm. What do you know? Oh, you lucky son of a gun. That's going to be a 6. Oh, which is a miss. I don't get to figure you out. It's a miss.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know. I assume she's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Do you want some of the pie though?
No, we need to pay for the room, and you lost the coin flip. You have to pay.
That's not true.
Oh, I guess if you can't pay, then that means Grumley has to pay. Grumley, you got to pay. You lost the coin flip.
I didn't lose no coin flip.
Well, Hazel won by default.
What do you mean she won by default?
I'm the winner.
Yeah, I flipped the coin. She didn't have the money. She won by default. Somebody has to offer up the coin, and it looks like you're the only one who has it.
Well,
I want to try to trick an NPC.
I do have a...
And I want to try to trick Grumley into believing
I don't think
me.
you can't trick him.
You can't trick
He's not
him.
an NPC.
Oh, it is an NPC.
Yeah.
Okay, it's specifically an NPC.
Yeah. You can use stuff like
I take it
someone
back.
out.
I take it back.
Yeah.
I do have a coin. It's just I was saving it.
How could you do that to Grumley like that?
Well, I was going to do it to you, but then when you said I had to do it to Grumley, I felt awful.
Unbelievable. So what you're saying is you'll pay the nice woman.
Yeah, well, what I was saying is that I have a coin, but I was saving it for dinner because I'm so hungry. We was on the boat for so long.
I'll tell you this. If you since you lost the coin flip fair and square, if you pay for the room, I'll worry about dinner.
That's a little ambiguous.
I will secure dinner for all of us.
Is it going to be good dinner?
It will be the best it could possibly be.
I don't trust you at all.
Well, what's there not to trust? It's your old pal Booker. I've had your back all these months.
That's true.
I-
I guess I do owe you. It says it right here. I owe them.
Well, what do you know? We can't break the game rules.
It says on my
One
character
Please.
sheet.
Okay, she bustles over and she takes the coin. Oh, I'm so glad you missed staying. But where are you all coming in from?
Well-
You look a little wet.
The river. We came up the river.
Here.
Oh,
I'm from New Felicia, of course.
It's very misty.
very misty. Well, what's you in town for? Would you like some tea?
Oh,
Yes,
I would love
please.
some.
As lovely as tea
If
sounds.
it's part of the room,
Of
cost,
course, no. Tea's part of the Cotton Top experience. Oh, and how rude of me! I'm Ellie Cotton Top.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
As lovely
Nice to
as
meet
tea
you.
sounds, Miss Cottentop, I am very interested in this lovely clearings, Dimwood famous rye.
Oh, of course, we carry a wide variety of those.
Well, I would love to try the recommended. We've traveled very far to come see this, and I'm interested in the best you've got. What would you recommend to someone who's never had the famous Rye Falls rye?
Oh, that's a good. I guess I would ask a qualifying question. Is what kind of flavor profile are you looking for? She seems like her eyes light up, and she seems to be.
I just described to her how I'm, without going. I'm not gonna fucking
Booker, I
Yeah.
saw you eat trash once.
zip it, and then I continue describing how I feel about
Yeah,
caramel notes and
yeah.
things, and
she shuffles off and brings over a glass of this very dark rye, and however you would take it with ice or not, but she places it down and she says, "This is the wood spider."
so I'm assuming this isn't included in the room.
No, it's not. I assume you're going to pay for it.
Absolutely, and I make a very elaborate show of pulling a gold coin out of my bag and giving it to her in front of Hazel.
Thanks. She takes
The pleasure is all mine.
and
I will take a sip, and I will savor it. Let it play on my tongue.
It has a real kick as a bite to it. So the wood spider, you see that there's a large spider, this shaggy orange hair all over it, with black patterning, and it's got a real kick to it. But it's very, very delicious. It is not the standard swill you got. We're getting in Reconnoiter Ridge.
I slap the table and I say, I can honestly say that's the greatest rye I've ever had in my entire life.
Well,
what a wonderful experience. I've never been happy to be here and never been happier to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your stay. And, we should have vacancies for a number of days. So let me know if you're going to be in town for a little bit longer.
We might.
We don't have as much of a selection as the barrel, but we do okay.
If the rye stays this good, we might spend a lot of time here.
Well, I'm here if you need it. Just call for Ellie.
Happy to do it.
Sounds good.
She bows and shuffles off.
And then I kind of like swirl the rye in my glass and I say, as I take on the sip, fantastic. Hazel, it was very nice of you to pay up on the bet you lost. That means that you're an honestly true person.
You do talk a lot about how much you owe. You owe him a lot.
Yeah. Well, he broke me out of well, I don't even remember really where I was, but I remember I was awful stuck.
I removed my last one. Well, that doesn't matter. The point is we've all helped each other. That's what friends do. Most importantly, that's what vagabonds do. But we're not just any vagabonds. We're best friend vagabonds. And I take more sip.
That's right.
Lovely, Rye. This is fantastic. Thanks again for not, skipping out on your bet.
Do much birds stay here very often?
What kind of question is that?
I'm just asking if there are lots of birds here.
I apologize for my friend's bluntness.
I don't see many birds, frankly.
Birds? I mean, we get a few, of course. There's a number of birds that live here.
Oh, well.
There's old Perry. He's a robin.
Oh, Perry the Robin. That sounds like a very good name for a robin.
That's good.
Any other birds that you might name?
Bee comes in here a lot, yeah?
Bee? What kind of bird is she, if you don't mind me asking, of course?
Oh, well, I mean, it's not something you normally ask in polite conversation, but she's a raven.
Oh, I've never seen a raven before. Have you seen a raven before?
I don't think I can say that I have.
I think I was mostly confused that her name was Bee, but she was in fact a bird and not a bee.
Oh, no. The bees are usually down in Click-Clock Crossing.
Well, yeah, we saw an awful lot of them. It just really tripped me up.
Well,
I would like to see a raven.
I would like to see a raven too. If she's around, just let us know, alright?
She usually comes here, and I haven't seen her before sundown ever, I think.
Every
But
night?
she comes in, not every night, but she occasionally comes in for a meal, sit by the fire, drink, usually meets with a friend.
My stomach is just gonna growl really loud when she says that.
Go on.
I'm sorry for my companions here. We've been on the road for a very long time, and we're not used to such hospitality.
Well, you're going to get the best hospitality in all the falls here in the cotton.
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Cheers. Drink up, blokes.
And she scampers off again.
Well, this is quite the life, let me tell you. I could spend at least a month here before going on to see some other clearing.
Remember, we're on a mission, Booker. Let's not lose sight of that.
Missions, sight, talk of ancient relics.
There's an ancient ruin.
I'm not worried about it. I'm really.
No, this is the one that we're going to.
We're stage whispering. No one can hear us.
Are there other people around?
There's a number of people, but no one's really.
Okay.
They're kind of going
We're
about their own
stage whispering,
business.
as you know.
Yeah, they're stage whispering.
As you do, as one does.
Well, as far as I know, there's the ruin can't be too far. The ruin wasn't that far from Reconnoiter Ridge, so I think we should keep our eyes out, and hopefully we can learn more from B.
All right. Well, that's fine. That's all well and good, and I suppose.
She doesn't come in tonight.
Well, then we wait another night, and that's certainly not going to be too upset because that means there's more rye that I can consume if we can find a way to make a little bit of money. because I'm a little hard up on cash after we hit the old general store. But to be fair, I was a little tapped out from all of the adventures we've been on. So, worst case comes scenario, we pay for another night at the inn, compliments of whoever loses the next coin flip, and then, we'll see what we can do to make a little cash on the side.
And thank you for the follow, Pixel Cat.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Pixel
you,
Cats.
Pixel Cats.
Welcome.
Welcome.
All right, well, if you want to do your thing that you usually do, I won't report you to the Marquisate, and then so I will take my cut.
Report me to the Marquisate for what?
For conning someone out of their money.
You keep using that word, con man. I'm not conning anyone. These are mutually beneficial business practices between two individual consenting beings, if you will.
Oh, so now you're just lying.
That's right. You sell soap with a prize inside. There was no prize inside the soap.
Some of them had prizes.
Like what?
How do you define prize?
Cleanliness.
Something that's not soap.
Cleanliness is the greatest prize of all.
So that every
It's
bar of
an
soap
issue.
has a prize.
In
And
its
it's
own
just
way.
marketing.
In its own unique
So
way, yes.
either you're conning people or you're lying. Either way, I mean, take your pick.
You said marketing before. That sounds like a good word.
That's what I said.
Thank you.
I knew we were friends for some
I
reason.
just keep sipping my bourbon, my rye.
I thought you was going to get me dinner.
Well, we're working on that. It's not quite dinner time yet. I mean, the sun hasn't even quite gone down below
Well,
the
it's
mountains
certainly
yet.
supper at least.
All right. No one panic, all right? It's fine.
I'm trying not to whine.
Jeez, Louise, I'm not worried about the... Everyone just hold your horses. I'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a twist of fate.
That is a twist of fate.
Thank you so much.
Oh, or as we
Thank
call it
you.
here, it's a root tea.
It's a
Oh,
routine.
is that what
we call it?
Yeah, it's
I
a
love
root,
that.
It's a
They're
root
all
tea.
changed.
I mean, it makes
Overlap.
perfect sense.
Yep.
Aw, that's so
That is
nice.
that is a great name for it.
It's a twist of fate, also known as a root tea.
So
Thank
thank you
you.
very much for the bits. We appreciate the root tea. So I'm going to take my glass of rye, which I'm savoring.
Yeah.
Every drop.
Oh, the wood spider is
And,
just...
it is. Mwah. And I'm going to go find Ellie.
Okay.
Oh, hello, love.
I'm sorry to bother you again so soon, but one of my lovely companions is bothering me about food and dinner. What kind of fare do you offer here? Does it come with the room?
Oh, no, it doesn't come with the room, but it's not the most expensive. I could get all of you for some coin.
It'd be 1 to feed all 4 of you.
We have a lot of fish from the river. It seems to be most of it, but we have a few other things. A lot of nut-based dishes.
That sounds lovely. And I will take 1 coin out. I will put it on the table. I will mark 1 decay.
Oh, Boghop.
You didn't hear any of that.
Oh,
This was a conversation that I had with just Ellie. If you
in
could
that
please...
case, I'm rolling on the floor. Oh, Boghop, I'm hungry.
No, it's going to be for the foils.
Okay.
All of our companions, if you would, please.
Of course.
Thank you. I appreciate your hospitality. Whenever at your leisure, we'll be waiting.
I'll get it right out.
Thank you.
And she goes out, and you have a little bit, and she brings this incredibly rich, hearty stew. There's a number of potatoes, a thick broth. You find a bit of pistachio kind of nuts floating in there, and some bit of fish in there, and it's very delicious.
Oh, this is so good.
I told you I'd take care of it.
Oh, Boghop, you're the best.
I know.
My favourite part of the Dimwood is that every clearing has its own culture and its own sense of cuisine.
That's why we're here for the rye.
It's
Do you drink grumbling? Is that something I would know after traveling with you for
I like a
months?
spot of tea, but I'll have a nice ale every once in a while. I suppose I'm not much on spirits, but I could have a little bit.
Well, if the person that we're looking for doesn't show up tonight, I suggest maybe trying some of this rye. It is absolutely world-changing.
All right, well, I suppose I could. I don't have much coin, but maybe I could offer my services as security,
Well,
given that there's some rumblings of war in the clearing in the south.
so that's one of the weird things I kind of thought. Now maybe this is a little bit more of an upscale sort of establishment, but I was trying to feel out whether or not they might take labor instead of coin, and that doesn't seem to be the case. She seemed to have said that she wasn't interested in taking our labor because she couldn't do that to us. But she might only accept coin. I was only going out on a limb because we all know we should hoard our coins when we can, but It's a little strange. It's a little strange to me. Maybe I'm just reading too far into things. Maybe this is just, like I said, maybe I'm more of a upscale establishment where they don't really do that. But I was just a little surprised.
I'm hoping we just need one night here either way. And I think that if we can speak to B tonight, we can learn where this ruin is, and then we can strike off tomorrow morning.
Oh, just one night. Are you sure? This
Just
is
one night,
fantastic.
yes. We have a goal in mind.
Yeah, but 30 sounds even better.
I mean, we don't know anything about anything.
Well, why don't you buy a bottle to go? It would probably cost
A whole bottle?
a whole bottle of rye. You can drink it on the road, right?
Oh, that'd be
You don't need
useless.
ice. You don't need...
A bottle like that is not a bottle you take walking down the road and drinking it like it's water or swill.
Look at you. That's exactly the kind of thing you would do.
What?
With that hat you're wearing and those shabby clothes.
Oh, really?
I swear by my acorns, you trying to pick a fight with me?
No, I'm not. I'm
Your
just
hat's
saying.
really nice.
After all this time we spent together, you're gonna insult me like
I'm
that?
not trying to insult you. I'm saying it would be in character to drink whatever you like on the road. What's wrong with that?
Oh, like he's above the law. He's above.
Yeah,
he's so fancy.
He doesn't give any cares. He doesn't care at all.
You know what? I'm done. With the two of you, I'm done. I
do?
got you dinner. I did what I could do, and you both have just got me at my end of my rope. That's it. I'm going up to the room. I take my stew and I take my glass and I'm like trying to hold it all, and I'm like, I go up to Ellie and I say, "Where's our room?"
Come and see the little patches.
Oh, it's on the 3rd floor. 304.
I like bite the key because I can't have more hands. Thank you, and I like head up to the room.
You do that.
Oh, no, I feel terrible.
I was just trying to say that he's the kind of guy that shouldn't be ashamed about drinking a bottle of rye in the middle of the street.
He's awful sensitive sometimes.
I guess so. I mean, we're all pretty rough and tumble, frankly, and that's just sort of his flavour.
He's prideful.
I guess he's too prideful. I think he thinks that he's a little more high class than he actually is. I think he forgets he's a vagabond, maybe.
Maybe. Life on the road. Tricks your mind sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we all live on the road 100% of the time. Well, I would like to live in the clearing. One day I'll be back in New Felicia, and Sheriff Beatrix will welcome me back in her employ, and I will be keeping the peace once again one day.
That sounds nice.
After we collect these relics, and I'll give it over to the Marquisate, and we all are regaled as heroes. It's going to be glorious.
Oh, I don't want that. I just want to go home.
Well, they'll give you lots of pies, and they'll give you any pardons you want, I'm sure.
That sounds good. If I could just get paid like a lot,
They'd
and
probably
then,
pay you a lot as well.
Pay back what I owe, then I'd be fine, and I could go home.
All right. Well, I think I would like to at least keep it now that it's sort of approaching evening. I would like to keep an eye out for B.
Okay, you do that. Booker, you arrive at the room, and there's two nice beds, two nice end tables. You know, it's not super fancy, but it's good.
Well,
What do you do?
I sit down and I eat the rest of my stew, and I enjoy the rest of my rye while I look out the window. And I'm just going to kind of chill and wait. I'm not really in a hurry. I'm not really interested in any of this other business.
Yeah, as you look out the window, you see that towards that same news board, where...
Is it like a bulletin board?
Yes, like a large bulletin board where they had the big bulletin where the ward wall had been taken by the Erie.
Okay.
You see a individual who is his arm is all bandaged up and is covered in a sling, and he puts a box out, stands on top of it, and pulls out another large sheet of paper and hammers it in, and you see that happen, and then you all wait in the evening, and night passes, and you look around, and it gets to about sunset. It's probably about 7, 8. Keeping an eye out for a raven. You don't see it.
I'll eventually come back down.
Okay. Booker joins you again after...
I'm back.
I've been drinking tea for hours. Would you like some tea?
All
Would
he
you like a spot of
needs to
tea?
say is that we're awful sorry for what we said.
Oh, I didn't mean any offence at all.
We were trying to compliment you, but
That's right.
it was just...
I just think that
It was a misunderstanding.
All right, well,
we're all vagabonds.
I would
like to remind
I too am a little sorry. I overreacted. It was a little immature of me to storm off like that. But in other news, the room is very nice.
Oh, that's good.
Well, that's good. Is it as good as that last inn?
It's not as nice, but it's pretty good. That was like top inn.
It will suffice.
Yeah.
And
Nothing's as good as free anyway.
Ellie makes it all worth it.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
She's a very good person.
All right, well, let's keep an eye out for this raven if she ever shows up. I haven't seen her yet.
I don't know. It's getting awful late. Maybe we ought to go take a walk around.
We could look around.
I'm not opposed. I just don't want to miss her. There is something I would like to get a closer look at outside. I got a bulletin board outside. It just looks like there might be some good place to get information from. I mean, that's where we saw the information about the clearing. Exchanging hands, which is just unbelievable. But that's neither.
So quick.
It's neither here nor there, I suppose. It's just there's a lot of information on that board, and we might be able to gather some intel, if you will.
All right, we'll lead the way. We can take a walk, and we can come back and check later.
We'll go quick, because I don't want to be too far away from the inn, just in case.
All right.
Oh, we can see it from here.
Exactly. So Hazel, maybe you keep an eye on the inn while we all make our way to the board, and I just want to check out the board real quick. There was a gentleman. He was putting up new information all the time.
Oh, it's nice.
Might be something worth
Just
it.
gonna run over quick to
Yeah, we just want to take a look at the bulletin board real quick.
Yeah. You run over and you see that where the individual had put in it was a cat that seemed to be injured. Put the bulletin. You see another headline, and it says Northwest Alpine operation destroyed.
Can you read him a map?
Yeah. Fuck. Dun, dun, dun. Not that one. I always fuck that up.
Northwest.
So it's just
Okay,
up
so
here.
somewhere out in the woods. All right.
Alpine operation destroyed. Sole survivor says. Trees came alive. Authorities say Erie to blame.
What kind of nonsense is this? Trees coming alive? I mean, this is like some like madness, ridiculousness that we would have heard in Reconnoiter Ridge.
What did you say? Who says
Authorities
authorities say?
say Erie to blame.
I think, to me, that sounds a lot like the ruin. Maybe there's some kind of magic that's bringing the trees alive.
Or just more madness. I mean, that's what we were worried about in the first ruin.
Or it could be madness, perhaps, but...
Well, you don't take that kind of claim seriously, do you, Grumley? Trees coming alive?
I mean, based on what we've seen, we now know magic is real.
Trees coming alive.
Everything else in the forest is alive, so why not the trees?
That's right. I mean, trees are technically alive anyway. What's to make them,
That's true.
magic might as well make them more alive.
You technically have me there, but I'm not gonna just... Fine. Is there anything else on the bulletin board of
Rule
note?
it out.
You look around and it says it was actually kind of ripped off, and you see that there's a bit of remaining ink that said piano player wanted at the belching barrel, and it's been ripped off. You see a little bit of frog slime on the corner. You see a couple of odd jobs. Basically, all of the mills are hiring. All of the workshops are hiring. You look around and you see everyone might be a little bit tired or well-to-do, but with the industry that the Marquisate has brought to this clearing, everyone seems to have a job. There's more work than everyone's hiring, it seems. So there's a wide variety of things. There's a number of update bulletins that says strange movements seen in sticker brush. Advised to not venture south. Do not venture south. A variety of updates in the clearing of eerie movements. A lot of propaganda you probably get the sense of, but this large bulletin just has a variety of things like that.
All right. Well, back to the inn.
I think we go back to the inn, we keep an eye out for B. But if we don't see her bottom morning, I say we just go to the northwest and we investigate.
Yeah. And if we do have to stay here a bit longer, looks like we could all get a job.
Right.
All right, agreed. Let's head back there.
All right.
Okay.
So I think at least Rumley, I think just wait and drink root tea, given that it's free, with cream and sugar, until late into the night to see if B ever shows up.
Is there like a fireplace?
Yeah, there's a large fireplace.
Booker will stay down in the common area, but basically fall asleep in like a chair near the fireplace, expecting Grumley to wake him up if there is to be some sort of business.
Okay.
And Rumley wouldn't look up.
And I forgot to mention that at the bottom, you see at the bottom of all the large bulletins, including the Erie Bulletin and all of the official ones, you see that it's all by the decree of Baron Roald Steiner.
Roald?
Roald. R-O-A-L-D.
Roald
Baron,
Steiner.
Yeah, Roald Steiner. And you see it's all by the decree of that.
Steiner.
And with that, you wait a little bit, and it gets to be about 11, 11:15, 11:30. You're getting tired, and you feel like there's no hope. And then the door to the inn opens, and you see a figure walk through. And you glance over, and you see that there's not a hood per se, but you see an individual wearing a cloak covering most of its person. And you see dark fur, long pink snout with a bulbous nose, 2 little ears, and wide eyes as a rat seems to walk in and look around a little shifty. And steps on over, and you see that there are a number of chairs around the fireplace, and you see him stop by towards where Booker is. And,
I'm asleep.
Yeah, asleep, and he looks at Booker, and then he walks over to a pair of chairs that are pulled off to the side, and he sits down, and you see that he takes off his cloak, and he's wearing his leathers, and you see that there's a number of blades all in like a bandolier around his person, and he hangs his cloak over the chair next as if to save a seat. And he sits there. What do you do if you do anything?
I continue to sleep. I'm going to use the restroom while.
I would like to just sniff the air to see if I notice any change in smell. Maybe any kind of like scent.
Yeah, I would say that you just can do that. And you sniff, and you get a scent from, he very much clearly smells like a rat and not a very well-dressed rat. Or well-bathed rat. And it's kind of unpleasant, but he's looking around and shifting, and he seems to be waiting just like you are.
Got it. Well, I will keep my eye on him, but I'm not going to wake Booker up. I'm just going to kind of hang out, drink tea, and just sort of every once in a while shoot my eyes over to him and just see if he's doing anything weird or shifty.
Okay. You do that, and you see that that Ellie is finishing up her shift, and it's about 11:45. She is finishing tidying things up, and then a red-breasted robin, who's very large and portly, steps into the inn, and he takes over for the night shift. And he's like, "Oh, good night, Ellie." And he stands behind the bar, and he takes over. Seems to be the sole employee of this place. And you're all kind of distracted, and then the door opens. You see a hooded figure standing there, long black beak sticking out from beneath it, and there are no patrons in the inn now awake in this common room except for you all and the rat. And you see the raven step over. She very clearly seems to be female. As she steps in, she pulls down her hood. You see large eyes looking around, and they then narrow, and they glaze over all of you. She hesitates for a moment, and then continues. and you see her look. The rat doesn't even turn as he continues to look at the fire. As she then sits down next to him, the rat takes the cloak off, and they both kind of stare off into the fire. And then you can't really hear anything, but you start to see their lips, their mouths are moving very slightly.
You did not wake me up, correct? That's what I thought I heard.
Well, now, the second she walks in, I will very subtly, with my metal boot, kind of kick your foot. Just very, very gently to sort of wake you up.
I'm tired.
Is it?
Unless
I don't. Is it a crow? I can't tell. What's the difference between a crow and a raven?
Gromley, stop. Give
He's
me.
full of rye. Just give him a minute.
I'm not drunk. I'm just sleepy. All right, settle down. What's going on?
Look over there at the side of the inn.
Bromley's sibling is here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
My sister just
No
got
more. I'm on the same page. Let's just all wait and see what happens. All right.
I see you've been waiting all night.
You got any more of that tea?
Yeah, sure. And I go, is there like a station where there's tea? Or?
No, you flag down
Robin,
the Robin, and he kind of waddles over and he says, "Oh, here's your tea. Here you go."
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And you see that he has another tray. He has a small tray with it seems to be a very small tea kettle, 2 cups, and there seems to be 2 small little sandwiches. As he walks over, it's like, "Oh, here you go, B. Good to see you again. And for you, Sneaks. Okay, here you go." And he walks over, and they both kind of look at him irritated, but they just nod and they take it. You see that the Raven reaches into her cloak and pulls out coin to pay him, and then the Robin shuffles back over.
This tea's pretty good. Pardon me, I'm a little bleary-eyed. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay.
We've just been sitting here.
So what's the game plan? Are we gonna bum rush them? Because even though I could be blindfolded by dental floss right now, I can see that gentleman has a lot of knives and blades.
Well, then I'd say we're not ought to bum rush anybody.
Well, bum rush in a figurative sense. I mean, I'm concerned that if this person is even remotely worried about titles and things, that if we say the wrong thing, we're gonna end up like pincushions.
Well, let's just be friendly then.
I would like to read a tense situation.
Oh, make that roll, Grumley.
So that's 2d6. Ooh, I fail horribly.
You're trying to read as
Let me take a look here.
as you get the sense that as they go in to take their bites, that as they're biting the food and drinking the tea,
Those shiesty
they're
bastards.
taking the opportunity to, as they're chewing, to talk. And you seem to be making words, but that's all you can get the sense of.
They're communicating, but I can't see what they're saying.
Well, let's just go.
What do you expect to happen? I'm a little worried we might just get bled out. If this is as serious as we think it is, and what we're dealing with is nothing to joke about, we say the wrong thing, we might just be dead.
Well, all we gotta do is be friendly. That's what my mom taught me, and that's what I'll do.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Well,
All right.
I was
It's
born in the winter.
fair enough. It's a plan, I suppose, is the point. Do we have any other better idea? Or do we wait till they're done their conversation? To me, not that I hang around with unsavory individuals, but experience has taught me this is a conversation we don't want to interrupt. Maybe we wait till they're done, and we see where to take it from there.
Well, how about we wait until that rat guy covered in knives leaves? And if she leaves with him, maybe we can follow him out of the inn. We'll meet him in.
I think this is
In
a
a
conversation
non-threatening
to have
manner.
here in not in a dark alley with a rat full of knives.
It needs to be very clear, Hazel makes a very good point in that we do not want to do anything that is even remotely considered threatening.
A rat full of knives sounds very dangerous if we threaten it.
Yeah, mostly because we'll end up as a pug, a chipmunk, and a raccoon full of knives if we do the wrong step, alright?
All right. Well, look, this is your thing. You deal with people a lot.
This is my thing.
Yeah, you talk to people.
Unbelievable.
You tell me what to do.
In that case, I'm going to wait and allow them to finish their meal, talking about whatever the hell they want to talk about.
What if they leave?
Then we will talk to them in a non-threatening manner. Deal? Agree?
In the dark alley with the red full of knives?
No, before they leave. We will have a conversation with them before they leave. I'm certainly not going to interrupt them. Are we all on the same page?
If you
No.
just tell me where to put this, and I point at my halberd.
You put it away. You put it down. You put it out of sight. I don't care where you put it.
I can't really get it out of sight, but I can put it on my back, maybe.
Do they not have a weapons check here? I mean, what? Get in the room.
I got my sword on my back, and I got my hat.
Does it look like they've got plenty of sandwich to finish?
It looks like the raven does, but the rat is almost done.
I think I should just go say something.
Hazel, please. If the rat gentleman is almost finished, then we can just talk to our raven friend uninterrupted.
I don't think he's going to leave her here.
Then that's fine. The only reason I even asked the god of our world how close they were to finishing their meals was to suggest that Grumly put that thing away. But if there's not enough time to run up to the room, then just forget about it. The point is, you have to try to look as non-threatening as possible. Let's just wait and see what they do.
It's at this point
lead it up in a corner.
that you see movement. As the rat gets back up, takes the cloak off and puts it back on, and the raven continues to stare into the fire. And then reach down and take a little bite of the sandwich. As the rat turns around and looks, you see his eyes dart you, and then towards the door.
All right.
He walks out.
Now, nobody do anything. Grumly, you said that this is my thing. I'm gonna go do my thing. No one move unless I look like I'm in mortal danger, in which case then Grumly move very quickly and kill everyone in sight. Deal?
My great sword's on me back.
Don't-
My halberd's in the corner.
Don't do anything else, all right?
All right.
You'll know the warning sign is when I'm screaming for my life. Understood?
All right.
Nothing
Maybe
else.
you should have a better sign than that, like an early warning signal.
Nothing else. Understood?
Like wiggle your
What
ear.
about
Understood. Deafening, life-threatening scream. That's
That's
it.
like a sneeze.
Did I just not say what it was?
He's just gonna scream for his life, and
If
then we
you're
come
already
in.
screaming, then I can't really,
You
like,
don't move
it's
unless it
too
sounds
late.
like I'm dying. That's fine. Promise me.
Dodge, at least we'll get revenge on whoever killed him.
Perfect. Don't move. And I begin to non-threateningly kind of like whistle and walk over to the raven sitting at the table.
So you see the raven.
I'm going to need another claw.
The raven is sitting there, and you see her take a cup of tea. And she continues to look forward as you step around and sit in the chair.
Oh, I don't want to sit. I'm just approaching.
Okay. You're approaching.
And being very as non-threatening as I can.
And as soon as you approach and you stop, she takes a sip of tea and she says, "For a raccoon, you're not very stealthy, are you?"
Well, to be fair, and I just want to start this conversation. First off,
Thank you for
very
the
much for the tier 1 sub.
tyrannical tardigrade.
Oh,
We appreciate you
Tardigrade.
so much. We appreciate the support. Thank
Everyone
you.
Google image search that tardigrade.
I'm gonna do it right now.
They're very cute.
Wait, really? I've never even heard of that.
Pause.
They're an immortal animal.
Like more so than lobsters?
Yes,
Yeah.
like they could live in space.
Because lobsters still die from their shell.
Right. They have.
Tardigrade.
And what?
Anyway, they're like these tiny, like microscopic pink, like bear looking.
Advanced
Are they
chill
real?
water bear.
Advanced chill.
Advanced
Water
chill.
bears. There you go.
So that's a good opportunity to say that if you've subscribed, just much like our tyrannical,
Wait, are these real
tardigrade.
things?
They're real things.
What?
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
Total aside.
Yes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson
We're going to be
talking
doing
about
Advanced
them.
and Chill after the stream, so if you just now subbed like
Sure,
Tyrannical
really
Tardigrade, we are going to be doing a... Wow, that is horrifying.
No, it's so
We're going
cute.
to be doing a sub-only stream after this session, so stick around if you've subbed. I'm talking to you, Tyrannical Tardigrade, so thank you for the sub.
Thank you so much.
Aw.
I just wanted to thank them before we got into the RP. No. Stealthy is not the name of this game. I want to start by saying that my name is Booker, and if I know of anything about these kinds of meetings, that your man with all those blades is currently looking at me and threatening to kill me. So I come to you saying that I bear no threat.
I would like you to make a reputation.
Yes! My man, okay.
I would like you to make a Marquisate.
Beautiful.
Reputation.
So
And I would also like you to make a Denizens.
both.
And Eerie. All three.
What?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
What does
so
that do? Hold on. So,
so-
what is this roll?
reputation moves.
Bro, I don't think we've done that.
So no, we have not. So basically, what happens is when I ask for a reasonable favor based on my reputation, or you're just having me make. So basically, I'm going to roll, and I'm going to add my Denizens reputation, which is +1.
Actually, I think for this situation, Marquisate is the most appropriate.
Just the one?
Yes.
Okay. So I will be only adding +1 to my roll,
Correct.
and certain things can happen based on the outcome. So if I've ever needed a good roll, and it looks like we might have one more root tea available,
Yeah, two more.
just in case. That's going to be exactly a 10.
A 10.
Wowee.
9 + 1.
9 + 1. Okay. With that,
Do you need to...
no, I got it.
Oh,
So
perfect.
I
God, Mike, you're on fire. It just says a lot of good shit.
Yep. Okay.
A lot of good shit for 10, my friend.
That's impressive. As you say that, and you
And I'm like
she
hands
stays there.
up. Like
she
hands
takes another sip. Well, I suppose it's no surprise that the individuals that got mixed up with Boghop and Smiles make their way here to me.
Well, it sounds as though you may have heard of us already. I don't know if I should be honored or scared that our reputation may precede us already.
I would not be too impressed or proud. I know many things.
Of course you do. I did not mean to presume.
Have a seat.
Of course, as you wish. And I will sit down.
I assume you've been waiting here all night for me?
We have. I have no reason to lie at this point.
And for what purpose?
We've been sent by someone who holds you in very high regard as far as information may go. I'm not one to generally get mixed up in life-threatening situations and quests, if you will, but it so turns out that we might be on one.
And she pauses. And then for the first time, she actually looks at you. And then looks back. And what sort of life-threatening quest?
Well, I don't really know what the whole thing entails. All I know is that the Eerie has been on our asses since day one, and I don't like it, because mostly I'm just trying to live my life. Let me do you one better. If for some reason I might be able to tell you your real name, maybe you'll understand what kind of information we're looking for.
If you tell me my real name right now, I will know that you are serious and you're worth my time.
Your name is Beata.
Beata.
Beata. Sorry, I wrote it down.
Sister.
I'm not calling your sister. I'm specifically not.
Her eyes shoot over. So, I imagine that means that Jericho is alive.
Well, he is, and he specifically mentioned that we should not necessarily bring him up because he was worried how you might react. But yes, we've met the man. He seems like a good person, and he is alive. We're worried for him.
So was I. I haven't heard from him in months. I thought that they disposed of him.
Well, I think luckily, or unluckily, depending on how you see it, we stepped in twice, right when the Eerie was on him. And the first time we were able to distract them, thanks to one of my friends over there, and then the second time we stood our ground and fought some of the Eerie soldiers, and with a little bit of serendipity, we got away with our all of our pieces intact, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, this changes things. And what do you need from me?
We need the location of the ruins.
She tenses up at that moment. Make a persuade an NPC.
That's your specialty.
Shut up! Oh!
I will help you.
It's not gonna help. It's not gonna make a difference. It's a 4.
Even for 2? Because you can only help. That would only make it
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean,
I can add 2.
Oh, you can?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Because I'm your friend.
It has to make reasonable sense because this is alone. Unless you walk over,
Oh.
it's up to you. I would say I would
that's
say
a roll, right?
Yeah, I would say she.
So we have Twist of Fate, but that only adds 1, so it would still be a failure for getting Twist.
So it's not. I don't think it's obviously not worth using a twist in this
Right.
scenario. I rolled the 1 in 12 that I literally needed any other roll. than
Yes,
this.
any other roll we could have passed.
And that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So proceed.
She tenses up. Says, the fact that you even know what you just said is alarming enough, but do you have any idea what you've gotten yourselves mixed up in? Jericho is an old fool, and he's signed your death sentence.
I will continue to be honest with you as I have the moment that I step forward to your table. We have no idea what we're getting into. We don't know. We saw a poor old man who was accosted and run down, and my friends, as honor-bound as they may be, decided to step in, and we find ourselves here after many, many, many hard weeks and months. That's all I can say.
And do you have any form of proof beyond the whisperings of a senile old owl?
We do.
She turns. What kind of proof?
May my friends join us.
Please.
And I turn over my shoulder and say, provided they do none of the talking.
What?
See, what does go over
Get
there?
over here, you fools.
All he said was provided they don't do anything.
Grumley!
talking.
God! I apologize. And I'm like motioning them over.
She sighs, and
I will grab my halberd
you hear
out of the
Perry
corner.
call over. Say, oh, you be needing more rye.
And sandwiches, yes, please.
Sandwiches coming right up.
Now, I'm assuming you're saying,
That's all
Yes,
I'm going to say.
Yeah, they're all sitting down. You're all
I-
pulling chairs around.
I'm trusting you because even though at first I didn't trust Jericho, I trust him now. We have proof. I don't think it's the wisest thing in the world to show it here, right now. If you have somewhere safe that you would like to go, and maybe we can continue this conversation, and you'd like to invite your knifey friend, by all means,
Oh, don't.
we are willing to comply. We are no threat to you or your friend, but we'll do whatever it takes to make you feel comfortable and prove that we are telling the truth.
Persuade an NPC.
There's no way I can do this again. There is no way.
There's no way you
I'm
can
sure.
fuck up that bad again. Here we
Thanks.
go.
No.
Thanks, Rich.
There you go. You didn't fuck up that bad. You rolled 1 better.
Actually, wasn't that what we needed?
Yeah,
So
And now
that-
we're over there, so we can help.
this is
Or-
a 5. You can help me with 2 to make it a 7,
Yeah.
which is enough to fail forward.
Okay.
So
No, it's a pass with
Well,
consequences.
fail forward. That's what I said, right?
Fail forward. In
It's
this
a
game,
miss.
every time you fail,
So
you
7 to
fail
9,
forward.
they aren't sure, but the GM will tell you what I need to do to sway them. What do you have to take to give me a +2?
1 exhaustion.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
How do you help?
What was the question specifically?
So basically, the it was more of a statement. We're willing to go to where Beata feels safe, even with her bodyguard, her toothy, her knifey rat, because we are not threatening in any way to show the proof that we have that we are telling the truth. that Jericho is not a crazy old man.
Yeah, well, that's true. And from what we've heard, you come here every night, so we've got a room upstairs. We could just go right up there, and you're already where you feel safe. And we won't make you walk around all night, because that's got to be just annoying.
And we'll be happy to even let your gentleman friend survey the room first.
Yeah, that's true. He can come, and I would be willing to share some of my pie that I have. It's very precious to me and delicious.
I understand you don't understand the gravity of that, but I can't begin to even describe
a really great
to
follow-up
you.
to a sandwich.
She hasn't even given me any of her food, and we've known each other for months.
It just seems like a nice thing to do when you're meeting somebody for the first time.
So with that, you get the sense that she looks back and she looks at you and she seems pensive. But you get the sense if you mention a phrase to give her a sense of what you mean without producing it, a word to describe what it is that you have, then that will do the trick.
Just to give you a little assurance here that we're not just blowing smoke, so if you will. The item that we have is the blazing heart.
She immediately leans forward and says, "We need to go right now."
Oh, should I lead the way then?
No. You will be blindfolded,
Oh, I don't like that.
and I will guide you to a safe space. I do not trust the rooms here.
What do you mean blindfolded? Can I figure this person out?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Damn.
Blow
12.
pick her brain
12?
right out.
So, is this character telling the truth?
Yes.
What is this character really feeling?
She is shocked that a bunch of vagabonds knows what the blazing heart is and allegedly has it. She seems concerned and wants to make sure that the information or the visual of the blazing heart stays safe.
What does this character intend to do?
This character intends to take you to a safe space that she believes will be appropriately taken care of.
So I don't get any sense of like danger.
Yeah.
All right. Can I keep me weapons on me?
You may. I'm not worried about you raising your weapons against me.
And to be clear, that's not something that even once crossed our mind. We're
No,
willing to
not
be
even
blindfolded
once.
as a display of trust.
Uh,
And again, I can't describe the gravity of that situation either, but maybe my companions can attest to that.
Can
The
I
whole
ask
trust
a
thing.
question, though? If you're not worried about us, what are you worried about?
Prying eyes that have that information. There are very few individuals in the entire Dimwood that know of these existences. Some of the information that Jericho had was from my order,
I see.
and you'll have to meet the master.
That doesn't sound very good. Is it nice? Or she?
We're willing to do whatever it takes.
I'm a little on edge, because Jericho kind of made it sound like we were the only ones who knew about this in the first place.
Well, what I'm quickly learning is that this world is a much bigger place than we could have imagined.
That's true.
And that's all I will say. Now, blindfolds.
Let us go to a safe space. This is the only room that I am feeling comfortable in. Let us go, and we will go towards the woods.
Done.
She stands up and guides you out. You all follow her. And as she leaves, you very faintly see her gaze catch Perry. He's like, "Oh, have a good night!" And he looks, and then his face kind of returns to normal, and he like gives her a little slight nod. As you all make your way out.
No.
She guides you through the town, her hood comes back up, and all four of you are guided towards the falls. As she gets towards this small clearing, everyone's around. Her eyes dart around.
Have we been blindfolded this whole time or not
No,
yet?
not yet.
Okay.
And so she pulls out 1, 2, 3, 4, and she blindfolds each of
Now, do you as she's putting the blindfold on my face? Do you prefer B or Beata or what do you prefer?
While we were in public, let us just call me B, please.
Is it alright if I stick with that? Because I don't want to flip flop and accidentally make a mistake. And poor Grumley, he doesn't even know his. Well, anyway.
Hey, what's that surprise? Whatever, doesn't matter.
The point is, B, I just wanted to be polite, and I wanted to let you know that I, in particular, and Hazel, and Peggy, and well, Grumley aside, we're not really fighters. We're really just here to help, and we're trusting you. So I don't want to end up with a knife in my back. Understood?
Well, you don't have a choice, do you?
Oh, that's not very comforting.
Agreed. Well, we don't have a choice. Let's just go on with it.
Oh,
I hope you are all fine at rock climbing.
not blindfolded.
Well, good luck. As,
Now, Grumley, it's been good knowing you.
I'll be fine with me nose.
Yep. I'll remember you when you're dead upon the rocks.
I mean, this whole time I'm blindfolded, I want to get as much sensory information as I can sniff.
Okay. You are told to walk. You are guided through, and you are guided through the town. You smell the smells of the rich ryes and whiskeys and ales of the main thoroughfare, and then as you make your way away from the food and the residential areas and the taverns and inns, you get the rich smell of wood, of sawdust, as you make your way through a industrial district. Many sawmills and workshops. You hear the hammering and the sawing, and as you get the scent of sawdust. As you make your way further and further, the smell of the pine forest starts to overtake you as you get further and further away from the civilization of this area. As you continue, the elevation continues to go up, and the mist starts to you smell the water, you smell the falls and the mist as you get closer and closer to the falls. And the roaring gets louder and louder until you can barely hear anything else. As you are then led up and through a very small path, narrow, but the rocks, occasionally you have to scramble over, climb over a wet rock, occasionally it might slip, but a very winding path that keeps going up. And then you curve and up and up and up.
So it's not like a sheer cliff. We're talking like switchbacks.
Yes, switchbacks as you are making your way up, and she's continually, telling you like mind your step as you make your way higher and higher. As she's using her wings to fly around and stand on rocks and basically guide you, as you hear the roaring of the falls, as you continue to make your way, the sound is cacophonous. You can't hear anything as you're being blasted with the mist from the roaring falls. As you continue to walk, and then suddenly it gets so loud that you can feel the mist blasting off to your side. You are behind a waterfall. As you you move through a narrow opening, as you make your way on smooth stone surface. As you continue to make your way, it's wet, and you are being blasted by the mist. But then eventually, your foot hits something, and it seems to be nice wood, and you step up a few steps, and then you continue to step forward, and you hear the strange unlocking sound, and you hear the of a door opening, and as you step into this space and the door closes behind you, the roaring of the falls disappears. You smell rich fragrances of fine teas and wines, perfumes, as this smells not unlike a number of the manors that you had been at in New Felicia. As you make your way through, you step on hard wood and carpet. As you are guided forward, it sounds through hallways and hallways, and then you are brought into a room, and the door closes behind you, and it's locked. And you are all pushed into a chair. Beautifully polished wood. It's comfortable, plush cushions. as you're all sat down on either side of what feels like a table in front of you. As she says, now you can meet Grandmaster Zacharias. As you hear her talons clack around, further away, a door opens and closes. You sit there in silence. Minutes pass. 20 minutes. 30 minutes.
We're still blindfolded.
You're still blindfolded.
Do I smell anything at all beyond, like, we're in a manor of some kind?
You smell that you're in a manor, and you smell bird. You smell ravens. Crows. You seem to be very single-minded, not a whiff of any other creature beyond the four
cats,
of you.
No
not a whiff of
rodents.
cat.
Okay.
You get the lingering scent
Well, no rodents except them.
of the yeah. I think whatchamacall's the only rodent.
Are you guys
Raccoons
all right?
aren't rodents, are they?
No. All right.
Oh,
Am I
yes,
a rodent?
No, you're not a
No,
rodent.
you're not.
Raccoons aren't rodents.
They aren't?
No.
What are
Trash
they?
panda.
Canine?
No.
Wait,
They're their own family.
Their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought they
no.
were part of the canine family.
No,
The
they're
fuck
not.
out of me.
Well, now I gotta Google it. I'm a rodent.
You are rodent, yes.
You're
You're,
certainly
you're the
a
only rodent. So you smell hazel, and you smell the lingering tuft of sneaks. At least that's what
The rat.
The rat.
the rat,
Ooh.
what Perry called him. And then after exactly 1 hour passes, you hear the dong, and the door opens. You hear a clack, 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 as taloned feet seem to step in, and rather than like the light footsteps of Beata, these sound heavier, more regal, and you hear it stop in between you, possibly at the head of this table, and you hear a voice. You may take off your blindfolds now. It's a good thing that you waited for me to enter the room.
Are you sure? We don't want to make any furtive movements.
It is good you
Our
did
hands
not.
are free?
Yeah, your hands are free.
Oh.
I have been watching you this entire time.
I like very, very deliberately reach one hand up
Alright.
and do like very slowly as I pull it up over my eyes.
You
All right.
pull off your blindfold,
Pull mine down.
and
to
you
my neck.
see you are in the most beautiful. Is it a lounge, a study, a dining room of an elaborate mansion? There's beautiful art on the walls, a large grandfather clock in the corner. Everything is perfectly polished and crafted. And at the head of this large, long table with numerous chairs on either side, you seem to be directly the first two. You see a robed figure, a raven, considerably older than Sister Beata, probably in the 60s in human years, graying of the feathers as they seem to kind of fall back beyond his head. He looks at you with stern, discerning eyes, as you see that he is wearing, his robes are a mixture of blacks and grays and reds. As he leans down, he eyes all of your satchels. Sister Beata told me that you have a relic from the ruins.
Before he can answer, I'm looking around the mansion and I'm like, oh my acorns! You guys live like this? How do I get a part of this deal? I don't want to be just bumming around anymore. This is beautiful.
Where are we? Are we behind a waterfall?
You are in our manor.
Manor, it's more like a mansion. This place is fantastic.
Are there any windows at all?
You look around, and in this room there are no windows.
How do I get a slice of this pie?
You cannot.
What?
You are not.
Chance of pie.
You
That was
are
long
a
walk.
raccoon.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
It means you are not fit for our order.
What's your order?
Oh, that's not nice. You don't know what he's fit for.
Hey, Hazel, let it go.
It might be like a bird-only thing. I don't know.
Just.
You are
let
not
it
a
go.
corvid. I suggest you not push your luck. The fact that you are even seeing this is unheard of.
A corvid?
Yes.
What's your order?
He looks at all of you. Well, I suppose that now that you are here, if you think that you are willing to leave without whispering a word of it and not being murdered, and we have eyes everywhere, I can give you information.
Yeah.
You have our word. We
Persuade
could
an NPC.
greatly use your help. Nine. Unless
What is it? What do we need to assist?
10.
No, I mean,
Oh, exhaustion.
I'll do it.
we can use a twist. You want to save it?
I can exhaust you.
Okay.
I mean, so what were you trying to do? I'm sorry.
So we were trying to persuade. So we're all talking, so it makes sense that any of us could mark it.
I will mark it. And to help, I will basically abase myself to apologize for the transgression I made about hoping to get a piece of the pie, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I was being rude, and anyway, yeah. I grumbly. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize, and I do like a deep bow and take my hat off to assist him.
It is good to be humbled. The Rook Roost Order of the Corvid Conspiracy.
The Rook Roost Order of the Corvid Conspiracy?
Yes,
I don't know what a corvid is.
that is not important at this moment. We have existed for generations. We watch, we learn, we gain information, we spread information. And we maintain a balance in the Dimwood. And so, it seems as if, in these times, with the balance shifting so heavily, you all fall into our laps, into the Rook Roost Manor. And you have the blazing heart.
Well, or so we say.
Produce it.
Of course.
Well, now hold on. You blindfolded us and dragged us halfway around the world, it felt like, and I got all misty in the waterfalls. And we've been pretty kind.
Trusting.
Trusting, that's right, thank you, Booker. It just seems like you haven't given us a whole lot, but you're asking for something that we went through a great deal of trouble to secure.
Hazel's making the point that we're looking to retain this item.
I am not asking for you to deliver it to us. We are not the ones that hold the great positions of power. We are the ones that move the pieces, nudge them slightly, to topple others, to lift up those that may need assistance. I care not for these relics other than they do not fall into the wrong hands and shift the balance.
Well, I like that, but meaning no offence, it doesn't seem overly balanced as is. All I see is Erie and Marcus 8, with the poor little denizens and all the little critters are getting all their stuff stolen. How's that fair?
There will always be a power in the Dimwood. It is the nature of the wood, as set forth by the kings of old. It is our responsibility to ensure that one does not completely take over. That is when true destruction occurs, true tyranny. There must be opposing forces, a balanced scale.
Do you know the location of the ruin nearby?
You know of the ruin.
Yes.
Well, we know there's four of them.
Yeah.
Look, we know you've
We know
talked.
of
We know
our
you've
ruin.
spoken to Beata. and she knows Jericho, so we all know what we all know. Why don't we just get to, Grumley, show him the heart.
I will produce the huge amulet.
You pull out the amulet, and it glows as you pull it out of your pack, as you unwrap it. And it glows in this room, and almost like a lantern. And his eyes stay very focused, but there's this very slight hint of surprise, as if he still at this point half expected you to be liars.
No.
And
yeah, you and me both, brother.
And he pauses, and he says, "There a few things that I thought I would never see in my life. In all of my years, I cannot believe it. And the 4 of you are the ones that have it. Well done.
Thank you.
And what do you plan on doing with this heart? And if I give you the information you need, what do you plan on doing it? I assume you are looking for the other 3 of the relics."
Well, when Jericho came bursting out of the woods, to be fair, I kind of thought he was crazy.
That's true.
He is a fool.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, because once I set my eyes on this thing, I knew what he was saying was the truth. So now, as far as I know, we need to finish what we started, but at the end of the day, I've been asking myself the question, why?
What would you like us to do with these?
Well, I mean, at the very least, it's immense amounts of power, and how do we, 4 common people, determine who gets to wield it?
Are you saying that Jericho knows the location of all of the relics?
I don't know.
Booker regrets speaking. As we seem to be at your mercy, and we're trusting each other here, then the answer is yes.
I don't know that he
Did he
knew the
tell
exact
you-
locations.
Did he tell you that he was the only one who knew?
I don't recall. Did he?
He did.
He mentioned, yes, he did. And he told us not to tell anybody.
You have to understand that we're in a very vulnerable position here, and we're not looking for Jericho to come to any harm.
This is indeed alarming. I am not looking to harm Jericho. But if he knows where all of them are, I did not think that he must have found that information in other ways, and he's a better spy master than I thought he was. But if anyone in the Eyrie knows where all of them are, if anyone in the Eyrie, if Vost knows and acquires any of those relics, with the power that the Eyrie has already amassed, it could be disastrous.
No, we would never give it over to the Eyrie. That's those foul birds, never.
Yeah.
Not on my
That's
honor.
true. But wait, if he only finds one or he finds more, what can you do with just one of them?
Does this have any power on its own?
It does. Do not unleash it.
I wouldn't, but I would like to know what kind of power it does have.
Yeah,
Not that I would
if
ever
we, like,
unleash it.
accidentally trip and
Do something horrible.
Did you not see the power that it had when you retrieved it from the mines?
Well, I mean, we watched something happen, but
It sucked up a bunch of mists, like floaty things.
Did you see that it had the power of the mind?
Oh yeah, no, it did. It was making people crazy. It was.
it's pretty astute of you, Grumley. That was a good point.
And then the power of the mind over the body, did it kill anyone?
Well, to be fair,
dying.
I'm not sure we witnessed that. I mean, we heard tales of the poor miners who were being affected by it going crazy, but I don't think we outright watched it kill anyone.
You think it was telling people in their heads to kill themselves? Is that
At the
what
very
you think?
least, it is horribly dangerous. Do not open that valve.
I mean, we wouldn't dream of it.
No, it's
I
been
didn't
a
even
lot.
look at it that close. I didn't know it had a valve on it.
Well, it's a heart. I think hearts have valves, don't they?
I didn't think it could just be opened.
Either way, I keep it in my pack. I don't wear it. I don't use it. I
We
don't
keep
plan
it
to.
wrapped up, and we wouldn't show. This is actually the first time we've shown it to anyone.
That's true.
I don't plan on... We want to collect them all so they don't fall in the wrong hands. And we've saved Jericho's life twice now. If they happen to get a hold on him and he lets it slip, I'd rather be the one to have it than Eerie.
Bromley's right.
I would say with that argument, whoever would like to make a persuaded NPC roll.
I can't fuck it up
It's
3 times in a row.
Stop jinxing yourself.
Fool! Fool!
That's good enough. That's a 5 plus 2 is a 7.
7.
So that's
No,
going to...
it's 8. Plus
5.
3.
No, charm is plus 2.
Oh, fuck.
I have not maxed out my charm.
I thought you had plus 3 charm.
Nope,
Okay.
I took plus 1 to luck.
He
because
looks
I like
at
to
you.
desperately smile.
He looks at you, unsure. And I think that if you reiterate and double down on that argument and reference what you had seen the Eerie been doing, taking the clearing of Wortwood and the like, Wortwallow, apologies, that you could probably convince him that way. And maybe say that you're single-minded in preventing this on his side.
The bottom line is that the Eerie has been mobilizing more than I've ever personally seen in my life. Grumley, I mean, have you seen them move like this ever?
They come for war. We were just in Wallow,
It was awful.
and at the time we were there, it was controlled by the Marquis 8. It's now controlled by the Eerie.
Just as quick as it took
It's
us
the
to
first
get
time.
upriver.
It's the first time I've seen a clearing change hands in my memory, and I mean, this is turmoil. This is ultimately chaos. And all we know is that we're going to see this through, as much as I don't want to, because Grumley is unabound as ever, and there's nothing I can
That's
do
right.
but back up my fellow friends, even though I hate it.
You should have seen the amount of troops that they were mustering in Muckbed Creek. You could see the torches in the air. There must have been hundreds of
They nearly
soldiers.
blotted out the sky as so many bears.
Before tonight, I can't remember that the last time that I've unabashedly told the truth for more than an hour straight.
That's true. He lies all the time.
And we are just laying it all bare for you here, because we know the gravity of the situation.
Very well. You are the ones. Perhaps it is vagabonds that are the key to the balance of this forest.
What a nightmare.
I could not have said it better myself. Very well. You will need to experience what the king of the forest experienced.
The king of the forest being this stag here.
And I
Yes.
with the amulet.
Wait, isn't he dead?
I don't want
Yes,
to
but-
experience that.
And we have to my sentiment exactly.
The forest, the dim wood before the blazing heart was inhospitable. And it wasn't until he became the master of the forest and took up his crown.
Have we heard the term Master of the Force before?
Nope. I will personally lead you to where it is.
Where what is?
The ruins. The crown of the Dimwood.
Should we leave tonight?
Yes,
Yes.
but it is very dangerous.
That's fine.
I do not let any of my own enter.
Well, you finally met capable hands that will be able to take on the danger, no problem. I'll guarantee it. I'm very strong, and the rest of them are just fine.
I'm pretty strong. I'm not so strong.
She's quick, and
That's-
she's kind of sneaky.
Yeah.
He's good at, talking. And Peggy, she makes all the crazy
Oh
inventions.
yeah, she's got a mess of tools.
Very well. Are you prepared? We leave in 30 minutes.
I don't
Yeah,
really...
let's go.
You will be blindfolded.
That's fine. Just point me in the right direction. As long as I can keep my weapons on me, that's all I need.
You're not gonna let us die on the way there, are you?
Do you
Not
have
on the way
any-
there.
Any supplies that we could use? It's been an awful long walk up here, and I feel a little injured and a little tired. And Is there anything we can do to prepare?
Remember when I
Help
mentioned
with?
griping?
I'm not griping, I'm asking a question. There's a difference. I hardly whined at all. I didn't even beg yet. I just simply asked. Since we're, retaining the balance of the forest and all that. Seems like just a fine question.
Make a persuade an NPC roll.
11 plus whatever.
Oh shit. Plus charm.
Was
Yeah, it's enough.
12.
He says, we trade in information and secrets, but basic supplies we have. Take what you need, and he gestures to a cabinet.
All
Take
right.
what you need from there, but that is all we will give you. This is not our fight. This is not our quest. It is yours.
Well, I know that I could at least, replenish at least one decay.
I'm gonna have a little of that medical supply and some food, and maybe a little supplies to take
Unless
with
there's
me.
anything in this cabinet to replenish some of my exhaustion.
Can we, if we ate a little, used a med kit, and
I
just,
would say
took
you
some
could probably
rations with us?
take one. You can probably take 3 that you'd care to distribute however you'd like.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm gonna do
done.
one each.
Is there like a whetstone that I can sharpen my halberd with and maybe reduce
Yeah.
time? Okay.
Yeah.
So that counts as one of you 3 then?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm ready when you are. Lead the way, please.
You will all be blindfolded.
That's
And
fine.
he steps forward and he takes time blindfolding all of you.
I'll never get used to this.
And you're all guided, and you feel as you're winding through these wooden halls, as you are led out, and you hear the echo of the cavern around you. As you then begin to make your way, you hear the dripping of water and the roaring of the falls behind you. As the sound echoes more as you feel like you narrow into a passage, and then you go up and up and up as a pathway rises. You hear the wings flap and take off as you are exposed to air, as the wind howls. You are guided down and through as you feel the smell of the pine is back, the smell of the trees, as you hear the, not the waterfall, but the roaring river. You seem to be at the very top of the falls. As you are guided down and down and down into a valley, and you feel the smell of the wood and the leaves as it feels like the forest is getting denser and denser around you, even though you can't see anything. And it feels like you're walking for an hour or 2, as eventually he stops, and he steps forward and undoes each of your blindfolds. And as you see, you are in probably the thickest, most tightly knit forest that you've ever seen. Large trunks rising up, the thick leaves and canopies entirely blocking the sky. And directly ahead of you, you see trees all around, but through the trees, you see stone. Large blocks, crumbled spherical shapes, as it seems to scatter directly ahead you in whatever you can see through the tightly knit trees. And it seems to be the exact same architecture and style as the building that you had seen in the caverns. He turns to you, Zacharias, and he says, "Here you are. What you seek is forward. I have never sent any of my own to investigate, and the ones that went on their own accord did not make it back." Oh, thank you, Forge Master.
Force Breaker, thank you. Welcome.
Welcome. We are playing a first look of the Root RPG. Their Kickstarter is live. We're playing a little bit of preview.
Exclamation point root.
Look at our awesome art! Look at the awesome
We have
art!
official
Look at
art
it.
of our characters by
Look at it.
Booker.
It's Booker!
It's Booker.
And so our wonderful sponsors, Magpie Games, it's an amazing Powered by the Apocalypse system. So welcome. You And he looks at all of you and he says, I will be back in 3 hours. If you survive, meet me here.
And if it takes a little bit longer than that, I didn't realize we'd have a time limit here.
I assume you'll be dead long before that.
You'll be just fine.
Fantastic. Okay. All right.
You're awfully presumptuous. Just you wait. We'll be back in 3 hours. All right?
Very well.
Or maybe a little longer. I mean, just don't get, bored and leave. Make sure we're actually dead before you give up on us, I suppose.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Good luck. The balance depends on it.
The balance depends on what in the hell did I get myself wrapped up in?
He turns and his robes flap in the wind as he spreads his large raven's wings and flies and takes off into the sky, kind of bursting through a patch of heavy forest canopy. And you all now stand, the four of you alone, in front of these large ruins through this forest, where the forest almost seems to have grown into and through.
So just before we proceed, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. From what we understand, Beata said that she'd kill us instantly. No problem whatsoever. Assuming that the rest of this order is of the same equal skill, some of them have wandered in their own volition and never come back. So what in the heavens above chance do we have?
We have each other. We have teamwork.
Yeah, my mum always used to say that everybody has a special skill.
Great.
And so I like to think of us as like a little family, and we all have our special skills, and
Right.
maybe we're all not, flying harbingers of death, but...
Those are not words I would use. Sure, continue.
Yeah, but you're awful crafty, and Grumbly's really strong.
Right.
I'm very strong.
Peggy is just like, gosh, she's really smart. And, I'm here too. And I think we
You're
can...
right. You're right there too. That's
I'm
right.
here.
So just so we're all on the
This
same
is
page
the
here.
first step.
Grumly breaks things, you eat a lot, Peggy smuggles illegal weapons, and I'm a con man, and you're expecting us to get this done.
Well,
That's right.
maybe. Yes, I am.
Now be a good lad.
Confidence is key.
And why don't you scout things out real quick?
Grumly, I would be honored, and I take my hat off and I do a deep bow as I back into the ruin. I walk away from them, facing them, and I back up into the ruin.
Well,
Okay.
It's not probably a good start.
Don't tell me how to do my job, and I put the hat on and I proceed.
You put the hat on and you proceed in. As you walk through, you see, as you're having to weave through these large tree trunks that rise up, and you see large swaths of stone floor and a structure that it's hard to tell, at least at this point, what it once was. But you see off into the forest huge blocks that seemingly were cast very far away, rising up as if this structure was destroyed violently. As you make your way through, you get the semblance of what these ruins are, the semblance of rooms and old former walls that are collapsed. But throughout the entire process, you see trees. And you notice something a little off the closer and closer you get in. You notice that the trees get tighter and tighter knit. And then you notice that on the bark of these trees, you're not sure if that's true, but you see eyes. You see a face. Is it a? It's hard to tell. You look around, and as you get a little closer, you hear of creaking, and you look. Trees just standing there. But every single step you take, you suddenly feel like eyes are watching you. What do you do?
How close am I to the entrance of this cave?
You are probably... So it's not a cave, right? You're in a forest.
Okay, so it's not like the it's just...
No, it's just basically...
architecture.
There's architecture, and basically the forest has grown up through it, and you're basically going through like a very tightly knit forest that has basically grown up out of these ruins of this massive stone structure.
I'm going to turn around, assuming that I was doing a little bit of scouting, and say, are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Where else would we be?
Hey, keep it down, please.
Is there danger?
No, nothing beyond the dangers of me being alone in my own brain. But please, proceed with caution and come towards me, because, heavy on the caution.
Should we run at you?
No, just slowly.
Your voice is making me feel a little on edge.
I'll be right there.
Slowly.
I jog. I don't run, but I jog to where Booker
I'm
is.
gonna be right on his heels.
So as you turn and the loud clanging of Grumley's armor is ricocheting through these trunks, and Booker, as you're turning, you hear and you hear like the creaking of wood, and you turn around and a large tree that had a branch configuration that you had just seen seconds prior now seems to be facing an entirely different way.
Grumley, stop! And I really loud.
And you all, at this point, they arrive at you.
All right,
What's going on?
quiet.
Why?
Not a peep. I might be going crazy, but I think the trees are moving.
We heard they were alive.
And as I have said many times in the last several weeks of our journey, I didn't believe it until I thought I saw it. So,
Did you see the tree moving?
I'm not willing to commit to that yet. As far as I know, we need to go slowly and not make ourselves any kind of threat. Can we do that quietly?
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I think... Can I make a suggestion?
If you do so quietly.
I'll be extra quiet.
Okay.
I think maybe we should all have each other's backs and walk back to back to back, and then that way, if the trees are creeping up on us, we'll all know, because we'll have somebody at our back.
Hazel,
Yeah?
I will do anything you want if we all do it quietly.
All right. I think that's...
Crowley.
All right. That sounds fine. I'm not the quietest.
Let's
Me armor's a bit clanky.
I think you ought to be facing forward.
try extra hard, Grumley.
Okay,
All right.
I'll try very hard. I think I should face forward as well.
Let's all link arms back to back to back.
Slowly
Slowly.
and quietly.
Okay.
All right.
And we will assume this 4-man position with Grumley in the lead.
Back to back to back
All
to
of
back.
our backs to
Diamond
each other.
style.
Yeah. And we're gonna slowly and quietly, the best that we can, head deeper into this death trap where the trees eventually rip our limbs from our bodies.
Okay. Whoever would like to make the attempt roguish feats for the group stealth roll.
Not me. That's finesse. That's not me.
Rogue it up.
That's
I
all.
got
Haze.
-1 on finesse.
Riggedy
Hazel.
rogue. 6, 9. Yeah, I got 9.
I will assist.
Okay.
That
Since
may
I'm leading the
I'm gonna say that as I'm gonna take one of the walking backwards positions, and I will kind of stumble a little bit, and one of my precious pies will fall out of my bag.
It slides out, and a beautiful cherry pie lands to the ground and splatters over a stone. And you manage to creep through.
Does that
And
decay?
was that?
A decay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you start to creep through, and the trees are getting tighter and tighter knit, and The closer you get...
Have we noticed any movement, though, assuming our new position? Or our new formation?
Assuming our new formation, I will say, as you walk forward and you're creeping, you are looking around, and all of you now hear, you look, nothing's there. You hear the rustling of leaves. You look, it's gone. You see the bark and the markings on the trees, and they look like, you rub your eyes, and all three of you now see, is this a wailing face? And you turn and you look, and it's gone.
Grumble, calm.
I think that's a face.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Grumbly.
Who's here?
We're not going to fight the tree. Grumbly, get yourself together.
Is it a tree or is it somebody behind a tree? I don't know.
Grumbly, please,
All right.
keep your cool.
I want to get a sense. I want to see if I can smell any other animal outside of the trees and the four of us. And
on you, it smells tree and ancient and stone, and even the scent of the roaring water behind you is long gone. As you approach, you go further and further, and as you turn around, it feels like you're almost weaving through these narrow passageways. It doesn't make sense that these trees are so close together. You look around, you can barely see far ahead of you, and you look back, and you're like, I don't remember. Do you remember how you came?
We don't!
It's almost maze-like.
Oh no, we don't remember it all!
It's almost maze-like as you go, but you press forward as you start to see the stone. That is a sure way forward. You follow the walls as you weave in and out, and with the stealthiness, you manage to avoid, be as careful as you can, avoiding bumping into anything. As you you hear the creaking, branches seemingly move, but only out of your line of sight. As you finally arrive at...
That's the Weeping Angels treatment.
As you finally arrive at something that's different. This is fucking for. You arrive at... You have been in this knotted maze. You seem to be now facing a ring of trees, almost deliberately placed, all in front of you. And the branches of these trees are low, and they are growing in all various directions. And they all seem to be in between each tree. The branches are interlocking, forming almost a wooden pyramid shape.
God.
In between each tree around this. And the denseness of the leaves growing out and the knotted bark and the darkness of this canopy makes it very difficult to see past. What do you do?
Can you describe the pyramid shape? It's coming...
It's basically the branches are growing down into have you seen the wicker fetishes from
Yes.
That.
Is it making like a unpassable wall, or is it just?
It is very tight. It could be unpassable. It looks immediately unpassable.
Okay,
but
I just wanted to see how big.
It is very. It is very tight, and
we're like, oh, that's creepy.
So we couldn't get into this pyramid thing.
You could try. It's looking very tight. Probably not, but you could try a variety of different things.
Does it look more like a blocker that we have to go over? I guess as opposed to
you see that it's very intricately tied, and it's almost like if the trees are attempting to prevent. But you see that these pyramids or these shapes continue up.
Oh,
around each of these, in between each of these trees they surround it.
So it's almost like a ring of wooden pyramids.
Yeah. And
okay, so we're not okay. So the path is basically that's
the
it.
The path kind of ends with all these pyramids.
Yeah, with all
these pyramids.
With all these pyramids, it's forming and circling. You see the
made of branches, not
branches going around, and there are some slots, but you're not really sure how to proceed it unless you have any ideas.
All right. So the first thing that comes to mind is that the reason that this order's lost so many people is because we're in a goddamn maze. I don't know where we are. We're completely lost. I thought I'd be able to reverse engineer the way that we came in, but I
Follow the stone. It'll be all right. Just don't panic.
All right.
We're at a dead end. I mean, it just smells like trees to me.
Right, at a dead end. And I'm worried that if we turn around now, we will never get out, and we will starve to death here, and there'll be nothing that we can do.
I pull out the amulet.
Hey, whoa.
And I start waving it around.
No, Crumley, please.
You start waving it around, and as the amulet starts to move, it's glowing, and as it starts to, you wave it around, and as soon as it passes over the pyramid shape, you hear as it starts to move slightly.
It's working.
Grumly, that was the single most reckless thing I've ever seen anyone do. And while ingenious, you're still an idiot.
We need to find a way through.
I don't know if it's doing anything good. What if you're just making it mad?
I just really try to focus not on anything in particular, but I feel like I'm doing something.
I hope you understand that if a tree comes to life and rips me in two, I will haunt you until your dying day.
No one's gonna die. It'll be fine.
I've eaten so many acorns, and now if they come back to eat me, it'd only be fair, but I taste terrible.
That would be called irony, and we're not going to mention it again in the presence of the trees.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Don't you think?
What's that, a black flag?
As the movement, as you look down, you notice a glint of white. As you look down and around the bend almost, you see a white skull, avian, with a black beak, sitting at the base of one of these trees. And as you wave it around, you see that the branches of this formation start to shift and move. And it almost seems as the closer that you push it, the more that they part, and then as soon as you pull it away, they continue.
You're onto something.
I think it's working.
But we want to make sure we don't threaten anything that may be alive.
Hello, trees. I like you very much. You have pretty branches. You are very fine, trees.
Dear acorns.
Your wood looks very strong. No nuts at all.
An evergreen.
Evergreen, definitely green.
Booker just has his head in his hands. This is like happening.
It's the prettiest trees I've ever seen. What else? Facey trees. Oh, facey trees.
It's on a post.
How lovely are your branches.
Oh, facey trees.
Oh, facey trees.
Please don't use those branches to kill us.
That didn't rhyme, but that's all right. We're gonna proceed forward.
And so I'm gonna very slowly, like step by step, while like talking. To
I'm going to need a persuaded NPC roll.
Wait, from me or from Booker?
I would say whoever would like to roll it, because it was grumbly.
That's all grumbly. It's all assist if necessary.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't roll those. Huh?
So I have an 8.
That's pretty good.
We can each assist, and I get a 10.
And you've already shown how you assist. So if you care to do that,
I do. I mark an exhaustion.
So as you sing, "Oh, facey trees," and you look.
This is not a song that Booker knows. He's just trying to like make up the words while Grumbly sings.
As you're singing and you're making it up as you go, and you press the amulet forward, all of the branches part, and a pathway opens. As it seems as if your singing fucking shockingly helped.
It's working!
As you press forward, the branches move, and you see to your left as you make your way through this pathway is these strange formations, branches all just, and they all return to normal, opening the pathway. And as you see on the other side of this ring, you now see that there's a large ring of trees all knotted. You see that in one of the branches is a hatchet. Seems to be of raven make in one of the branches.
Is it near the skull?
Near the skull. As you continue your way, and there's another ring, and the branches, as you continue to sing, the branches part their ways as in another ring, and then another ring. and then another ring, and it's just dark, and it's almost maze-like in here. You're not even sure which way to go, but all you do is press forward. And the amulet continues to glow, and then finally you pause, and there's a hesitation for the smallest ring of trees. It doesn't look like that large of a chamber. And then you clearly see now, as it parts, you look around and you feel eyes on you. And you turn, and you see the knotwork and the holes in the tree, the little hollows all around you, forming faces, eyes, and mouths, and they all are pointed directly at you.
Well, I don't know if the singing is helping, but it's making me feel a little better.
And you continue,
anyway.
and you finally approach. And you, as the last bit of knotted and interwoven branches emerge and pull apart, there's a faint glow of orange. The exact same color that glows from the amulet directly ahead. And you step forward, and you're finally the claustrophobic feeling that had been haunting you. You have no idea how long you've been in this forest maze. As you approach, and this is a very tight chamber, no more than 20 feet by 20 feet circle, as you see stone ruins, and you look up ahead, and all through the stone, you see intricate, knotted branches of trees, all forming a large throne. And you look around and you see the bits of stone on all the sides. And this may be where the Blazing King at one point held court. And it is entirely destroyed, save for this throne of made of the forest itself. And directly in front of it, in the center, the throne is on the far side. Directly in the center is a knotted pedestal made of that same interlocking hardened bark wood. And wrapping around it is a crown. And through the knotwork and the bark, you can see it glowing.
I'd like to sit.
Hazel, I think you're right. And then now, pardon me, but the wheels have been turning a little bit, and I have an idea. Grumble, you've got to hold the heart. You got to make sure that we're safe. All
okay,
right?
That's what I'm doing. I'm holding it.
Which leaves the rest of us. Someone has to grab the crown. All right. Now,
What?
we saw the raven and the hatchet. We can't cause any danger to any of this, or all of us will cease to exist.
Okay.
So, what I'm thinking is the best way to handle this
Okay.
is to determine who's going to go grab the crown. We'll just play a quick game of rock, paper, scissors.
No.
No, it's fine. It's
No.
fair. It's fair that way.
I think Hazel should do
No,
it.
no. It's
No.
time out. Please, let me. You're holding the heart. It'll be a fair game of rock, paper, scissors.
Normally I would enjoy a game, but every time I play a game with you, I lose.
No, that's not true. It's confirmation bias. You're remembering the bad times and not the good times. So
I
here we
turn my
go.
amulet so that it hides my face.
You've never won against him, just so you know.
The winner gets to determine who goes for the crown. Deal.
But then you're going to win and determine me. You
It's
always
a game of chance. We never know, right?
I'll turn the amulet so that it blocks my face from Hazel, and I'll say,
Just trick her so she does it anyway.
No, this is a fair.
what you
this
do,
is
right?
a fair game. So
Oh, fair game. All right, but
Grumble,
I can't
please.
wait to see this one.
do you agree?
No! What do I get to play your crooked games, Booker?
There's nothing crooked about the game.
Hazel, you're
Hazel,
really good at taking things.
as far as I know, you're the best thief I ever met.
that's right.
And the bottom line is, I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do. So by playing a game of chance, we equilibralize the game and hope that whoever's the winner gets to choose what they want to do. Deal? Understood. Please.
Okay.
One time. Just shake my hand.
I wish you'd just give me something so I felt better about
All right.
losing already because you're cheap.
So, rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
What do you intend on throwing?
That's not how you play the game at all.
I'm making light conversation. I just want you to know. I want you to tell me what you're intending on throwing.
I intend on throwing the rock.
You intend on throwing the rock?
I do.
Okay.
Right.
On the count of 3.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
Dang it!
It appears as though I've won, so you are going to fetch the crown.
Did the camera get that? Andy just actually in real life next leveled the fuck out of kills.
If I had a mic to drop, I would spike it through the table.
I hate being married to you.
Andy scissored. Andy shears.
Sheared quartz paint parchment shears.
Dang it!
Hey, it was a fair game.
Kills did paper.
It was a fair game.
It was a fair. I mean, that was the game, and it was fair and square. And you told him what you were just gonna do, but you lied because you did a different one. You didn't do quartz, you did parchment, and he did shears. And I think if I remember the rules back in New Felicia, when I came to the Dimwood, they taught me the game, and I believe you lost. You should probably go take that crown.
I never win.
I just have to go get myself a victory drink.
Yeah, fine. Well, how am I going to get it out of the trees without hurting them?
I'll accompany you, and I'll just sing
Oh,
the
you
song
think
again.
you'll get rid of that?
I think it'll be just fine.
Okay.
Thank Josephine for the follow.
Thank you. And somebody said the overlay was nice. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Corey Hickson.
That was all rich.
Well, it's
That's so nice.
Kyle Farron's amazing art. Go follow him on Twitter at D20 plus modifier.
And Dusty, you're absolutely right. Andy gets the couch, and Jack gets to be in the bed with me.
That's right.
All right, Hazel. So I'll hold the amulet here, and hopefully it'll just it'll release the crown, and you just take it.
Okay.
All
but
right.
what if we make them mad?
Well, we hopefully shouldn't need to, but
If they look mad, I'm just going to put it back.
I
and
like-
then we'll
I
think
ju-
again,
I-
all right?
I use my head to gesture to the weapons on my back.
I'm going to use my voice to gesture to that dead guy back there with the hatchet.
well, I agree. I don't think we should do that.
And I look around.
I will just approach with this amulet, and it'll open up, and you take the crown. How does that sound?
All right. I'll try it. Okay.
Oh,
You
facey trees, oh, facey trees. Oh, would you give us
please.
that crown,
Yes,
please?
Oh, that was good.
And I approach.
Okay, you approach with the amulet. God damn it! And as you sing, and you're approaching the center pedal, still the wooden throne behind you, still looming large, and it looks like it's a very large throne. And you saw a statue of the Blazing Heart before, but this is a throne for a normal sized man. A critter, if you will. And you approach, and the faint orange glow casts over the crown. And as you see the knotted work, it's looped in various things in order to hold it tight. And as you approach and as you sing, you press forward. It makes no motion to move. As you get closer, though, you notice something about the crown. You see that the crown is glowing. Of that same hue of orange. And at the top of each, you remember that in the statue and the murals, it was all decorated in small little antlers, basically dotting the whole thing, forming a crown. But this, it looks like intricately woven knots, almost in like balls around each of the tops of the crowns through the bark, almost like these large roots that are keeping it in place.
This is like super in there.
So basically it's super in there, but at the very top of the crown, it doesn't look like, from what you remember of the statue, it looks like just each of the little decorative pairs of antlers are kind of almost woven, just tied together.
Oh, maybe you just need to untie those little things.
What if that hurts him?
Just try one, and then if it hurts him, apologise.
Oh, I'm scared. Right.
I don't speak Trito, so this is all you.
I don't speak trees.
No, you'll be fine.
If it's just because
I've got the amulet.
I live in the trees.
I have a very important job. I'm holding this amulet.
Oh, fancy tree. Oh, fancy tree. Please don't kill me. And I'll try to untie one.
I would like you to do an attempt roguish feat to see how dexterous you are with this. This will be a little special roll.
Oh! 11 plus 3. 11
Nice
plus
job.
3.
That's right.
Also, Corey Hickson, yes, this is a Powered by the
Powered by
Apocalypse
those
game.
games.
Yes.
With that, don't choose shit, because you see Hazel's tiny little chipmunk paws lean forward, and you intricately take each of these antlers that are woven together, and then you begin to unknot it, and you tug a little bit. And it's made of metal, so it shouldn't move. It doesn't make sense. And then you pull, and you pull, and you pull. It shifts back, and then the little antler, and it kind of hums a little bit with the glow. And you are able to go around and each one while singing that song of "Oh Facey Tree," and then the last one, and the final little pair of antlers, the crown is completely center one of the largest pair in the center of this head that was still very large. That's still large. It's almost built for a massive figure, probably about yay big.
Wow.
You undo it, and then suddenly you hear the creaking, and all of the roots and bark that was locking the tree in separates.
The crown?
The crown,
Okay.
yeah, separates. And it's sitting there on a pedestal, almost held up.
Oh my 8 Chris, I
Presented
didn't
for
think
you.
she'd be able to do it. I honestly thought that I'd rock, paper, scissors her to her death.
Oh, you did it! I knew you. I had faith the whole time. I believed in
Shall I
you,
pick it
Hazel.
up?
Pick it up. That's what you do.
I mean, last time, Peggy just grabbed the heart and gave it to Grumbly, no big deal. So, chances are good we'll get... Oh, she's going for it. All right.
Okay.
Well, but now that you mentioned that, I realized we took it off, and then all of that we had missed zooped back into the amulet the second we touched
She's
it last
holding
time.
the crown.
She's already holding the crown. And she's already holding the crown. And as you're saying that, she's holding it, and like she looks at you, and you hear and the shifting, the groaning of wood, shifting is all around you. It's almost cacophonous as the entire forest is groaning and creaking all around you. And then it stills.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, Hazel, no matter what happens moving forward, don't let go of the crown. No matter what happens, you hang on to that crown. Even if a tree were to snatch me up and rip me in two, you hang on to that crown, all right?
It's awful heavy.
Don't put it on your fuzzy little head. If you have to, don't drop the crown.
Oh, you think it'll look alright on me?
It looks a little big for your head, to be honest, but
Yeah,
that's
I don't
fine.
even think it would.
Don't let go of the crown.
Okay. I can put it in my bag, right?
Don't release contact with
Just,
the
Oh,
crown.
just hold it for
I
now.
would hold on to the crown.
Okay.
And if we all huddle around Hazel, maybe we get out of here in one piece.
Right.
I want to look around and see if I see any movement or any kind of danger.
You look around, and as you see, there's no movement. And where all of the faces were on all these trees, the knotwork, it's all gone. Smooth stone trees, and you now see that all of the interwoven fetish shapes of the branches are now gone. They seem to just be trees that surround you.
We have it. Let's just go back.
Let us proceed with caution and hope that we can find our way out of here, because I'm not convinced that we're still not lost in the deep, dark woods.
Have they spread out at all? Where they were really tightly?
They're still very tightly
tight,
compact,
just
yeah.
They
not.
just look like
okay.
regular trees.
Yeah.
The faces that we thought we saw are no more.
Yep.
I'm gonna sniff. I'm gonna use my nose to sniff for ravens.
All right.
And maybe that can lead us back.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
We said there was a stone. Weren't we following like a stone?
You were following
path?
kind of a relative stone path, but it's still so destroyed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start sniffing around and
You sniff around and you don't get any sense of a raven. You're very deep. All you smell is ancient wood.
So I think that we would try to basically try to retrace the steps we
Retrace
took,
our
but I
steps.
mean, even if the path looks different, we're going to take our best guess.
Okay.
You know?
You do that, and so you leave, and you step forward, and you make your way to that first ring of trees. And Hazel, carrying the crown, steps through and steps across the other side, and as soon as the crown passes the ring of trees, you hear a loud groaning and rustling and creaking as the trees all around you begin to move, and you see the limbs swing around, almost hitting you as leaves start to shake as they start to bathe as you're being rained on by leaves, and you hear the groaning of wood and creaking, and suddenly you hear the shifting of earth as it moves around as you're almost now bathed in leaves, and you see branches all around you weaving, and you're almost paralyzed, and then suddenly you realize all of the trees are retreating into the earth all around you. After but a moment, you pause, and you're in a huge clearing in the forest. And that's where we'll end the session.
Oh my god, I hope we just didn't kill a bunch of Ents. I would feel bad if they were like sentient individuals. As opposed to just like, guardians. Oh fuck. Anyway, Evangelist and Chill.
So what is Evangelist and Chill while I get us ready to
I'd be happy to. We got a couple new subs tonight, so this message is specifically for you folks.
Oh yeah, new subs.
The idea is that after every single session that we do, whether we're playing Root, Powered by the Apocalypse, or D&D, or even just random, like fun board game night, we do a sub-only stream called Evangelist and Chill. And the idea is that it's a way to thank our subscribers who sub to us as a way to give them sort of some premium content. Quite often in Evangelist and Chill, we will drop never before seen art or little tips and tricks here and there. We have a subscribers only Discord channel if you join our Discord. So it's a good time, right? It's just another way to kind of give the people who support us a little extra something.
It's amazing.
For,
we love you guys.
For being there for us every single session. So very shortly, we are switching over to a sub-only stream.
Yeah.
So if you sub tonight, we saw a couple, please join us.
And if it's your first time tuning in, you get a 5-minute preview.
But it's also September. So
Yes.
now is the perfect time to sub because it's only 50% the normal cost.
It's half off.
It's half of a Sbarro calzone.
Exactly
If
right.
you will.
Is it?
Probably even less than that.
No, I don't know what that costs in USD.
I'm sure a Sbarro calzone is like $8 or $9, if not more than that.
So you're getting a better deal than splitting a Sbarro calzone
Exactly
with
right.
Harry
Thank you, Quiznos.
Thank you, Quiznos, says Hurricane. Yeah, so that's
we're good to cut
We're
it
gonna
down.
good.
We're gonna switch
So
over.
if we don't see you, we'll see you Sunday for Strahd. But
Yes.
for all of our subs,
At noon.
we'll see
yes,
you
so
in 1
Sunday
second.
at noon Eastern time.
Yeah.
Blah 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 on Sunday. See ya.
Okay.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Love you guys.